Here, get it nice and close. Oh, it's too
That's
close.
too far.
All right, how do you gracefully fade it out now? Like, great, you gotta fade it out. You gotta fade it out, or we're gonna copyright claimed.
I literally can't.
Okay, well it's gone. It stopped. Okay,
Okay.
yeah, we're rolling, dude. We're rolling. We're in it. And we're clipping the audio.
I'm at the.
That was too close to the microphone.
I'm at the KFC. I'm at the Taco Bell.
I'm
at the combination KFC Taco Bell.
I think you gotta get a little closer.
Okay, well, let me move my chair forward.
The mic is now a little more sensitive to the different levels in our volumes, I think.
Okay, how's that? Is that better?
Yeah, it looks alright.
Do you want me to scoot closer?
Maybe. I think we always get louder once we start talking.
Okay. What are we drinking this afternoon, Victor?
I've got a Gold Peak tea. I'm trying to stay away from the monsters. Gold Peak real brewed tea made with cane sugar, sweet tea. What are you drinking?
This is recycled human waste in the form of a life water.
Is it recycled? How do you recycle water? Is it
all
pee?
Water is old water.
Yeah, I mean true.
So.
But they do a good job at the water recycling plants. You know?
This is just human piss recycled into water.
Oh my god, this game is so beautiful. After playing such hot diggity graphical dog shit as Pokemon Legends Arceus. I say because I love the game and I think everyone's being big babies about it.
Can I just reassert that I think it's dumb that it's Legends of Arceus?
Yes.
It should be Arceus.
It's one of those things where, like, phonetically in English, it's obviously Arceus because that's what makes sense.
Yes.
And it's like, it's not like he's called Arceus in Japanese. You know, that's the Western name they gave this Pokemon. They don't have the same names in Japanese. Why the fuck did they name it Arceus? It's so stupid.
It's such a, like, unwieldy name for a Pokemon. Arceus, first of all, Arceus sounds like a god, right?
Yeah.
Arceus is a god's name. Arceus sounds like some dipshit in the Bible who, like, killed his own son because God farted too hard one day. You know?
Noah's Arceus.
Yeah, Noah's Arceus. Arceus sounds like the son of, like, Dunklostius and Miriam or some shit. Arceus.
Wait, is Dunklostius a guy?
No! But it sounds like he could be, right?
The
he could be a Bible guy.
Dunklostius?
I think a Dunklostius is a kind of fish, and that's where I was...
Dunklostius?
Dunklostius. It's in Animal Crossing.
Ooh.
I think.
Ah, that's where you learned of this
I'm a biologist. I've played Animal Crossing.
True. That means you know every fish.
I am a marine biologist and a entomologist because I have played Animal Crossing.
Such a sick-ass game. Fuck yeah, I'm playing Bloodborne.
But yes, I am at the combination KFC Taco Bell.
Yeah. So this episode is gonna sound a little different because I'm trying out. So last episode, it's so annoying because, like, we recorded a long, great episode, and then, like, in the middle, it just freezes and eats shit. Because Streamlabs, like, fucked up on the, like, when you finish recording and it, like, it renders and saves the file, it, like, fucked up. So there's just, like, a giant, like, hour-long section in the middle that is just gone. It just doesn't work. So I guess I had to, like, edit it and cut that out. I mean, you guys will have seen it already, whatever I did, but, I'm fucking tired of Streamlabs. I can't handle it anymore, man. I don't know why it just breaks constantly. So this episode I'm trying out recording just on, like, the Elgato game capture software, because I'm like, it can't possibly be worse than Streamlabs. But I couldn't, I didn't figure out how to do, like, the desktop audio capture to record the intro song, so that's why Hope played it off her phone, and it probably sounded like complete hell.
I hope you enjoyed that.
Yeah, but anyway, here we are. We're back in Bloodborne.
Vic was literally ready to forego the opening song.
I mean...
And I said no.
Okay, to be fair, like, the last couple times you're like, do we need to do an opening song? And
Yeah,
I was like,
and
yes.
you reinforced that we needed to do an opening song. And then when I had an opening song,
Well,
you
I didn't
were like,
know.
well,
I
we
didn't know you
can't
had
do
an opening song. I was just like, oh, well, Hope doesn't like
fucking
Hope
fool.
doesn't like doing opening songs, so I guess we can forego it since it's not going to work. Oh,
I
fuck.
just didn't. If I don't have a funny, like, germane song, then,
Yeah.
you know, I don't want to force it.
Do you guys remember the KFC Taco Bell song? That was the official song in the commercials. I don't know if you remember that, but Colonel Sanders actually personally wrote that song.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, performed by Colonel Sanders and the Funky Bunch.
Well, wouldn't it be like Colonel Sanders and the Taco Bell Chihuahua?
Yes. Well, the Chihuahua's the DJ, you know.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
the Funky Bunch
He's
does
like
the background
Skrillex
vocals.
or Marshmallow.
Trying to make sure I have the right controller that's not doing like the stick drift. One of our controllers does Joy-Con drift. Because yes, not only Nintendo Switch controllers are capable of eating shit. I don't know why the game's like running choppy. It's weird.
What did you break?
Look, oh no, it is the controller. See, now it's drifting on its own. Let me go get the other controller real quick.
Okay.
Look at it spinning. Damn it.
He's doing its best, you know.
It's like, what is happening?
What? Okay. Lala is currently occupying the space directly in front of the laptop. She's in a perfect loaf. You can't see any of her feet or her tail.
She was very, very happy to give getting pets to me while I set this up, and now she's very sad that I've stopped petting her.
This is a really solid loaf. I'd give it like a solid 8.5 to 9.
Textbook loaf, like
and she has disrupted the loaf.
Oh, never mind.
Sorry, Lala. I'm gonna have to dock you points for that. Now it's like a, it's like a 3. I can see your front foot and your tail. So, pretty piss poor loaf, honestly.
Sorry to everyone who can't see the loafing. You're missing out.
It's very cute. She's an extremely cute cat.
Yeah, you should probably get a cat if you don't have one.
Yeah, you probably should.
You're kind of being a narc if you don't have a cat.
It's pretty chill, honestly.
Yeah.
Pretty great.
Dogs, they're good in videos, you know. I like to watch a good dog video. But I don't know if I can handle a dog.
I enjoy experiencing other people's dogs.
Yeah. It's just like, I don't want to give a dog a bath. It's the permanency of a dog, you know? That it's just like, it's a lot of work and it's never gonna stop.
I mean, it is gonna stop eventually.
But like, you know, you've got a good 7 to 12 years, maybe?
Yeah, the ballpark.
7 to 12?
Something like that, yeah.
They just, like, they're like a human child, you know? They take...
they live 12 years.
Constant attention. You have to walk them every day. And it's just like, oh my god, it's so much work.
Also, the thing about cats that is, like, it blows my mind. Because I grew up with dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Cats don't smell like anything.
Yeah.
They just don't smell. I literally will get up in Lala's shit and, like, sniff her face, sniff her head. She has no smell.
Yeah.
Her breath is stinky. So, like,
Yeah.
if I'm near her mouth,
Especially if she, like, just ate, you know?
breath do be kicking, but, like, her fur, odorless.
Yeah.
It's fucking insane to me.
It's very pleasant.
I can't believe there's a creature that, like, doesn't have a smell.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
Because dogs have just, like, such the particular dog smell.
I mean, they're stanky, man. They are stanky. I know you get used to it if you have a dog, you know, but, like, they be stanky, man.
Having not lived with a dog having lived without a dog for many years now, when I go into a house that has a dog, I'm like, oh yeah, definitely dog smell. Like, big time.
Now, never like, what if you got a dog and it turned out to be like a humpy dog, you know? And it's just like humping all the time. Like, that disgusts and enrages me on a deep level. It's like they're a depraved caveman just fucking humping everything. And I'm like, you fucking useless, stupid creature. What are you doing? You're so stupid. You can't even control yourself. You don't even know what you're doing. You have no idea. You just need to hump.
A diabolical creature.
Disgusting little freak.
Good.
And everyone's like, oh, it's cute. He's just doing that thing. And I'm like, it's not cute.
It's
not cute.
There's
it's never
nothing
cute.
about that behavior that's cute.
It's incredibly uncute, and I don't understand. And people's like, oh, he's just doing the thing.
It repulses me in a similar way to people who, like, sexualize their infants.
Yes.
By putting, like, lady killer, future female body inspector, I want to see your titties. Like,
I think it, like, I've got a deep childhood hatred for it ever since I saw... There was an episode of The Osbournes.
Oh, God.
And
well,
they had
that's
this
a sentence that can't end well.
They had this horrific little piece of shit dog that was like a nightmare and everyone hated it. And it would just run around and hump everything. And there's just like an episode where they just show it and the dog is just humping a cat. And the cat's just like, you know, sitting there tolerating it. And the show shoots are like, where? Look at the wacky dog humping the cat. And I was just disgusted, you know, because I was like a little kid. That's the first time I'd really like seen that, like, oh, these animals just like dogs just go up and rape things, you know? They just hump everything, and it's disgusting.
Let's not mischaracterize dogs in the way that dolphins behave, alright?
I mean, it's
dolphins rape things.
The dogs are pathetic, and you know, if you didn't want, like, if the cat could easily knock the dog away, like, or just escape.
The cat could very easily just swat the shit out of that dog.
I don't even know if the cat really has a frame of reference. Because the other funny thing about the humpy dogs is that they don't know how to find a hole. They just, like, are rubbing on shit, you know? And they're so stupid. So it's like, it's not like the dog is actually, like, doing anything to the cat. It's probably just rubbing up on it. Because it's so fucking immensely stupid that it doesn't even know, like, where its penis is supposed to go.
There's no malicious intent.
Yes.
Unlike dolphins.
True. Dolphins
have lots of malicious intent.
I imagine they find the hole.
Dolphins are scary.
They're scary little bastards.
I do not find dolphins charming in any way, as I know we've discussed on this show.
Yes. They're gross little demons.
They are absolutely sea devils.
Yeah.
It's like, say what you want about sharks, but, like, sharks don't rape people.
Yeah.
So.
True.
And, you know, when a shark attacks you, it's an accident, you know? It's not like he was, like, out to fuck you up. He thought you were a seal.
The animal kingdom is rough.
I would say sharks are actually kinder spirits than dolphins.
Definitely. Sharks are good boys.
I'm gonna be real with you.
Sharks are good boys. We watched this video where it was a guy and he captured all this drone footage of sharks off the coast of California. And he was, like, shocked to find that, like, there's just constantly sharks around people and people can't see them because of the way that, like, you can't see through the water.
Yeah.
And they were just chilling.
Yeah, and it's, like, surfers and stuff, too.
And they're, like, looking at them.
And be just, like, 3 feet away.
Yeah, they'll go right on by. They don't
just
care.
Swim on by. They're like, oh, whatever.
It's like they don't actively want to hurt people most of the time. It's usually like if there's something wrong, the shark will attack. You know.
Or, you know, yeah, if they're like confused, maybe they're agitated because there's something distressing them.
Yeah.
They're hungry. You know.
Exactly.
Sharks do get hungry,
most
just
of
like
the
we do.
interactions are positive interactions where they don't do anything.
Or at the very least, they're totally neutral.
Yeah.
Where it's just like you and the shark exist near each other, and you both go on your way.
Oh! Pitchfork man. Ah. Bloodborne is dope. We thought about playing Bloodborne PS1, but I think it's going to be really stressful. It looks immensely stressful. Have you looked at, like, the gameplay of it?
I mean, just the trailers. Sorry about that yawn.
I tried to look at, like, some Let's Play footage of it and be like, what is this really like? And it's like, walking through the environments looks like a night. Because it's a PS1 game, and PS1 games are incredibly, like, stressful to look at and, like, dark and claustrophobic and weird. So I was like, I don't know if I want to play this as a Vic and Hope, or maybe we could live stream it. Everyone is kind of playing it right now.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But it is interesting. Like, I love the aesthetic of it. I like that it exists. And it's free, so we might as well play it.
It's super cool.
But, wasn't ready to play it on Vic and Hope quite yet.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Another time.
Wah.
Present day. Present time.
And because we gotta get through this game.
Right.
It's gonna take forever.
Beating Bloodborne.
We can do it. I did it before.
So,
I did it on Digibros.
Leave a comment if you think we'll finish Bloodborne before the end of 2022, Or if 2023 will continue to be the
Hey,
year
man.
of the Bloodborne.
We can do it. We've been doing it consistently lately. We've been doing pretty good, and we do long ass episodes. You know?
We do long episodes, but we don't usually make a ton of progress.
I think you overestimate how long this game is and how much progress needs to be made.
Maybe.
I mean, last time we did get a little bit lost, but there's not that many points in Bloodborne where you can get that lost.
Famous last words.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I had to go by our track record. Very nice. Oh man, we finished Orbital Children.
Oh yeah, that was an experience.
Woo!
I would definitely recommend it because it's so unique and aesthetically good and cool, you know?
Yeah.
I think if you like, what's it called? The Godzilla show.
SP. Godzilla SP.
Godzilla SP. Is that what it was called?
Singular Point.
I hate abbreviations.
Sorry.
I was like, what?
Online,
SP?
everybody calls it Godzilla SP.
Yeah,
so that's what
online
I've
is
become
lazy.
accustomed to.
Anyways, Godzilla Singular Point was pretty cool, but it was very much bogged down by lots and lots of technical jargon that is complete nonsense a lot of the time. Even though that one had felt like it was a lot more grounded in science, because like, the guy who wrote it was like very
It's
into
like,
quantum physics and shit.
They were definitely talking over my head in Godzilla Singular Point, but I felt as though all the things that they were talking about, if I really dug in, you could find like pseudoscientific logic behind everything. Whereas with Orbital Children, it started to feel like it drifted off into like
Magic.
feelings and magic.
It was very magical. It does a poor job of like writing a plot that facilitates a lot of action while not being able to represent that action in a logical way, because it's like from a standpoint of trying to make things exciting, you know, you want to write in some kind of action-y scenes where characters can be moving around, even though a lot of what's happening is theoretical and scientific and like happening. It's like half of what's going on is like robots hacking each other and AI is evolving. And it's like, how do you represent that? You can't. So they try to represent it in ways of like, oh, these technological things are happening, and then like the robots are like shooting each other with little like blinking lights, and then they have like the villain girl who put like, because they have like these smartphones on the back of their hands that are like a texture screen basically that's like can apply to anything. And so the girl, I guess, like applied those cell phones all over like the spaceship so that she could interact with it in different ways. And they do a very poor job of representing what the fuck is going on in the scene where they're doing all of that.
Yeah, it very much feels like magic.
Yeah, and so it's like, they did all this so that they could have kinetic scenes that feel action-packed, but it ultimately feels extremely sloppy and silly when they're interacting with the technology in this bizarre physical way that seems really unnecessary, you know? And that it just became so confusing and weird, and just like, why? Why did you write it to be like this? You could have made it not like this, you know?
Yeah.
And then it gets way too up its ass with like crazy theoretical bullshit at the end.
It gets a little touchy-feely for my tastes when I'm coming to a show for like sci-fi. It leans at the end really hard into like the sentimentality and like the
it was ultimately trying to do a classic shonen break the predetermined destiny thing. And like, I appreciate that, but it was just executed in a very weird, sloppy way.
Yeah, because I feel like the character the main boy was trying to save didn't really get enough development for me to care too much about her.
Yeah.
Like, she didn't have enough of a
personality.
personality
She had no
on
personality.
her own. And they didn't develop her very much. So it's kind of like, oh, well, I mean, if this is what she wants, just let her do it.
Like, let her die. I don't know.
Like, she seems like she wants to, so...
Oh, cannon.
Oh.
Oh, God.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
Here we fucking
Jesus.
go. Well, this should be fun.
Yeah. This level's fucking sick, though. The fucking Blight Town of Bloodborne. Super cool. This is one of those where it's like the first map where you can really kind of just like explore and find lots of hidden items and collect blood vials and shit without like, and it's challenging but not like
too much so.
It's lots of weaker enemies, you know, that you have
Yeah.
to kind of figure out how to control versus like a bunch of strong guys that are gonna fuck you up really fast.
Right.
So you feel like, you know, if you fuck up, it was kind of your fault. It's a great area. I love the aesthetics of the Blight Towny kind of areas.
Yeah.
It's
pretty cool.
But yeah, would recommend Orbital Children. I
Yeah.
think it definitely has something. Like it's cool. It's unique. There's a lot of good elements to it. It just kind of like gets very sloppy towards the end, but it has some
Yeah.
interesting ideas. You know.
Really, the last 2 episodes kind of are where it falls apart.
Yeah.
But
And like I like its ideas of like where AI is going and like, you know.
oh yeah.
There's an interesting point about what does the AI ask the kid? It asks him what is the difference between humans and humanity.
Oh yeah.
And so it was like the AI is trying to decide like is human life like an important thing to preserve as opposed to like are individual lives important or is the greater good of humanity important, which is always the, you know, the constant question of like sacrificing some for the sake of all. And so the AI was trying to determine like is it, you know, the logical thing to do to save the Earth would be to annihilate a third of it. You know, that was the AI's plan, was it was going to drop a meteor on the planet, annihilate a third of humans, because if you look at it from a very objective standpoint, then it's like, that's the easiest way to solve overpopulation, is fucking eugenics, kill everyone. But that only works if you're thinking of how do we preserve humanity and not how do we preserve human life, you know, which is the point of humanity. Like, you have to be subsisting for the sake of something, you know, that's like the morality of it, as opposed to just saying like, oh, well, we're subsisting for the sake of subsistence without any moral compass, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that was interesting, and I like where it went, and it was the kid's ultimate decision. It's like integrating a human into the AI, help the AI understand like why people are worth saving by like being able to interact with the human, you know.
right.
And then it in the end it was able to find a way to save humanity without sacrificing humans. It's just like it needed to understand why that was worth saving, you know?
Yeah.
And so it all ended up part of the AI's plan in the end, but it's like it needed these final components to be able to like execute it.
I guess my problem with it is really just that like the main characters don't have to pay any kind of price to reach this conclusion because they get the girl back, so it's like, well, everybody wins. We get what we wanted and humanity is saved. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, well.
Which I guess
That's
to
good,
an
I
extent
guess.
is fine because like they didn't initiate this, you know? So it's like you don't have to pay like paying the price is fair if you played with fire, you know, but like no one made this happen. Like it was kind of forced upon them, I guess. So maybe that's why they didn't need to sacrifice much in the end.
I guess, but like when the whole point is that like you need a human element to like live
Yeah.
within the AI and then you take that human element back, it's like, well then
Yeah.
okay.
It did feel a little weird, but it was I like the idea of like it was neat to see them become part of the AI, and he's like, I understand everything now, and like they're thinking 11th dimensionally, as they say they are in the 11th dimension, and like
That was
that
neat.
stuff is kind of fun. It's just executed in such a very ridiculous way,
Yeah.
in a very shonen anime way.
And I mean, it probably is partially that they didn't have enough time left, you know, they
Yeah,
had to
I mean,
get
it's
it
6
all wrapped
episodes.
up.
Like they blew through it.
So, you know, you spend a lot of time building the world and building up the conflict, and so by the time you do all that, you're like, oh shit, we have 2 episodes left.
Yeah, they had so much ground to cover in this show, and I don't think I would want it to be longer. You know, if it was 12 episodes, it would have felt like it was padding things out, and like, I don't know, I guess it could have fleshed out other elements. Like there was definitely a lack of like there's this great conflict going on, and the world is at risk, and like there's the girl who's like a YouTuber, and she's been vlogging the entire time, and she's been live streaming it to the world, and we see on her feed that she's like got millions and millions of people watching, and the world is at stake. So you'd think like, oh, so like everyone is seeing this, right? But you never get any reaction from the people until like the very end when the problem is solved. It was like, well, what was everyone doing? And then it's literally like Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, where everyone's just standing in the street watching a giant TV. Oh! And it's like, so everyone just stood in the street this whole time watching this happen?
But they don't establish it until literally like the very pinnacle of the conflict and then wrapping up the conflict. So you cut to all these people watching and you're like, all right, well, she had like 100 million followers. So it makes sense that lots of people were watching, but you could have established this so there was a little bit of tension prior to now. That would have been nice.
It's a little silly. I'm messing with audio levels because I'm seeing a spike spiking on the computer head. Because now we get all loud when we start talking. Join the league.
Animu.
I've joined the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Oh.
I've gained impunity. This guy's funny.
All right.
Oh, did he say jolly cooperation?
He said cooperation with your brothers.
Jolly cooperation. I think that's a Sunbro line from Dark Souls.
I see.
All right, we can go level up a little bit.
Well, it's not as good as Royal Rainbow.
Royal Rainbow.
Royal Rainbow.
Royal Rainbow.
Royal Rainbow.
Royal Rainbow.
You gotta shake your head side to side.
Royal Rainbow.
Royal Rainbow.
Ooh, yeah, so that was Orbital children. They had lots of orbs.
They did have a couple orbs. There was a few. There were a few.
Dark was the name of the orb.
Indeed. Dark and bright.
Oh my god, I feel like I haven't leveled up in forever. Just been losing souls.
Now I'm curious to see where Adeno Coil goes, because it's much longer. Mm-hmm. So I have to wonder.
Yeah, we should watch Adeno Coil. I know literally nothing about it. I never saw it.
It's good. It's cool. It's very similar in the philosophy of technology kind of way.
Yeah.
Of course, it was made quite a while before Orbital Children, so, there is that, but...
Yeah. Yeah. I imagine it's probably got a little more of the polish that older anime seems to have over not telling a very messy fucking story. I don't know what it is, like, these, auteurs always come back and make some messy ass shit.
That's how it is.
Oh, do I have any, souls I can eat?
Eat some souls. Oh yeah, we had gotten our ass kicked by Yosufa.
Who?
The lady in white, the doctor lady.
Yosemite? Oh yeah, that's what we did last time.
We were getting our cheeks
But that all
clapped.
got fucking cut out anyway, so we did go through that whole extra path, and we got owned by that lady.
Yeah, she fucking wrecked us.
Yeah. Because the whole, last 30 minutes of that fucking episode got cut off. Maybe I'll get some vitality. I never get any fucking health in these games. I always regret it.
Farewell, good
Anywho, what else do we got to talk about? I think I wanted to talk some more about fucking Pokemon Arceus.
My leg's asleep.
Yeah, because I've got a tattoo,
No,
which we'll
it's not
talk
that
more
leg,
about.
it's the other leg.
Well, then stand up and walk around or something.
No, it can't. It's literally in the process of waking up.
Oh, okay.
You know how it gets it's
and then all the blood rushes back in.
on the verge of being painful, but it isn't. So you're just kind of like, eh.
We need better Vic and Hope chairs. We need some beanbag chairs.
Yeah, there you go. Tomb mold. That sounds pretty good. Could go for some tomb mold.
Swallowed wrong.
Uh-oh. Charming. Anyway, please talk about Legends of Arceus.
Yeah, I always have ideas for big analysis videos that I'm never gonna do because it just takes so much fucking time,
Right.
So I don't feel like dedicating an entire week of my life to unflinchingly working nonstop on a fucking analysis video of goddamn Pokemon Legend of Arceus that no one's gonna fucking watch. But I have lots of thoughts on the game. In particular, I'm kind of reaching that point where it's like, Pokemon is always such a high-profile release, you know, that, like, there's gonna be tons and tons and tons of people playing it and tons of videos. And they all just say the same shit, man. It's just, like, all the most surface-level takes you could possibly find. And all the most obvious stuff. And it just drives me crazy, because I'm just like... like, God, have some unique opinions. Jesus Christ. It's all the same shit. And I have plenty of unique opinions on the game, because I really liked it. I really, really liked it. Now I've beaten it. On the last episode I talked about it, I hadn't beaten it yet. Now I have, you know, and I felt like it was a great experience. And I feel like people really just judge it on what isn't there and not on what is there, you know? Even though I guess that, like, I understand all the criticisms of, like, the graphics, and, like, I think, like, most people say that the writing is shit. I think that's very subjective, you know? And I think for a Pokemon game, it's pretty on par, you know, if not better than most Pokemon games. So it's like, you get this weird combination of, like, this game's getting a lot of attention from, like, not diehard Pokemon fans, but then the diehard Pokemon fans all just bitch and bitch and bitch about everything that Game Freak does, you know, and every little disappointment they have and every little stupid little nitpick.
Right.
And so it's just like the criticism is just annoying, you know? It's like, okay, I get it. The draw distance isn't good. I get it. The graphics aren't to your liking. They're shitty. It has frame rate drops. Oh my god, wow, it's not 60 FPS. Okay, Breath of the Wild is cooler. I get it. Wow. But can we talk about how it's a fun Pokemon game? And how Pokemon are cool? And I like to catch the Pokemon? Like, what the fuck?
I just want to be able to shoot a Pokemon with an AK-47.
Yes.
That would be my ideal game.
It's like, we keep hearing takes from fucking normie-ass motherfuckers, and it's like, oh, you know, like, oh, half the Pokemon in the game are lame, and then also, like, I just want a Pokemon game that has, like, realistic graphics. And it's like, what? Why? Why? You should be able to punch the trainers. The trainers should fight too.
I want a bare-knuckle brawl.
Why do you want that? So you don't want to play
Pokemon? A
Pokemon?
Mamoswine. Why? Why do you want this?
Oh, I gotta turn this down a little bit.
I want to wrestle a Machoke IRL.
But it's like,
we get it. You want to fuck the Machoke. Oh my god.
It gets very annoying when the criticism of Pokemon games is that you really don't want to play a Pokemon game. You know, you just want to play a different type of game. And I don't get it, because I love Pokemon games, you know, I've played them all, I've played them my whole life, I've liked everyone incrementally more every time, you know, except for Diamond and Pearl. I don't like Diamond and Pearl. And I didn't like it when I was a kid, and I didn't really like the remake, and people like to make that the fault of the remake, but it seemed pretty fucking straightforward of a remake to me. I think it's just not a very good game.
As someone who's never played Diamond or Pearl, what's so different about it than any other mainline Pokemon game?
It's just like, I'm not sure where it comes from. I think they had a little bit of a difficult transition with the DS, but it's just like, the world design is very uninteresting. So like, you go through the first, like, you spend a lot of time, like, the better half of the game is probably like the first half, where you explore most of the world very quickly. And there's a lot of space in between, like, the first few gyms, which is good. I like that in a Pokemon game, so you don't feel like you're blowing through gyms too fast. But then the latter half of the game is, like, usually Pokemon games have a structure where, like, you know, you keep meeting the teams, and then, like, you'll go through, like, one team dungeon where you go through all of it, and then there'll be another team dungeon where, like, oh, you're in the Rocket headquarters or whatever. And, like, with Diamond and Pearl, you explore the entire map, and then it just becomes a sequence of, like, revisiting places that you've already been and going to kind of, like, a new spot there. And it just feels very, like, okay, what? And then, like, you just get one Team Galaxy dungeon, and you're like, well, I don't care about these guys. They suck. They're lame. Nothing's happening. And then it's just, like, a constant trainer gauntlet. And you're just like, trainer battle, trainer battle, trainer battle. And then you get over-leveled. And then you just start ignoring all the trainer battles because you're so bored of fighting trainers. That's kind of the overarching problem with all the Pokemon games, that there's so many fucking trainer battles. And so, like, Diamond and Pearl is, I don't know, it's just the worst. I just don't like it.
It's just the worst.
There's nothing to mix it up. They even, like, the fashion battles are lame and dumb.
The fashion.
It's just so much of it that's just not good. It just kind of, I don't know. And then it does have, like, the weakest Pokemon lineup of pretty much any of the games. Where it's like, that was the first game where, like, so you had the Kanto, which had 150. You had Johto, which was like an expansion on Kanto, you know, where they didn't add like a shitload of new Pokemon, but they like added evolved forms for older Pokemon and stuff. And so then you had Ruby and Sapphire, which had a whole new generation of Pokemon, like almost a whole 150, you know?
Yeah.
They had hardly any old Pokemon. Diamond and Pearl is kind of like Johto, where it doesn't have a ton of new Pokemon. It has a lot of older Pokemon. And then it has some evolved forms for new Pokemon that are really hard to obtain, especially in the original game. Most of them you couldn't get till endgame. In Diamond and Pearl has a shitload of endgame content, but you're like exhausted by the time you get there, so you don't really want to do it. Because there's like 70 fucking legendaries, which kind of, like, it was the first game to really feel like there's so many legendary Pokemon that, like, what does it even mean anymore, you know?
I've never understood the, like, saturation of legendaries, where it's like, if this is supposed to be a big, rare, special boy, they're not really special if there's a billion of them.
That kind of happened in Diamond and Pearl.
The appeal is that, like, there should be, like, 2 legendaries in each game, because they're legendary.
And there's stuff
right?
where, like, in like, the original games, you know, you can run into Zapdos, Articuno, and Moltres. Like, they're in, like, little secret hidden areas that you can just stumble upon as you're playing the game, you know? And then, like, the legendaries, like, in like, every game till then had kind of had, like, the 3 legendary bird-type Pokemon, you know? You had, like, Entei, Raikou, Suicune, which you could get at any point in the game, because they were random encounters. And then you had, Reggie Ice, Reggie Rock, Reggie Steel, which were, like, endgame guys that you had to find. And then, Diamond and Pearl has fucking, like, Uxie, Azelf, and whatever the fuck. I can never even remember their names. Mesprit or something.
Oh, yeah.
And they're 3 psychic Pokemon. And so you're just like, they're all 3 psychic, and they all look like Mew. They're so uninteresting, and like, they come into play really late in the game, and they're just like, it's just not as interesting as the other games. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's hard bitching about a Pokemon game always, because they're all so similar, you know? But It's just like, it's all about vibes. Just don't like the vibes.
It's just the vibes.
But it's like, I'm the type of Pokemon fan where, like, I liked Black and White more than Diamond and Pearl. I liked X and Y more than Black and White. I liked Sun and Moon more than X and Y. I liked Sword and Shield more than Sun and Moon. You know, I love all the games. And I like them every time they introduce a new little innovation. And then I love the new innovation so much that I don't want to go back and play the old games because I like where it's going. And, like, I appreciate the incremental design of Pokemon where they've never, like, they'll always add something subtle and new, but they don't go so far that it's a different type of game, you know?
Mm.
And they don't go, like, full Breath of the Wild, where, like, Breath of the Wild was so innovative that, like, it's interesting because the narrative around that has become Breath of the Wild is an amazing, flawless masterpiece, when the story about it when it first came out was, like, everyone was kind of disappointed that it wasn't, like, the same type of Zelda game that they're used to, you know? And it was a little disappointing, for me even, and I've come full circle into loving Breath of the Wild, you know? But initially you're like, oh, but there's no dungeons, there's no this, there's no that, and that's how people are with the Pokemon Arceus, where it's like, oh, there's no gym battles, and blah, 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 but it's like, but it's the same kind of mix-up that Breath of the Wild had, but it's, you know, it's just like, it's different, embrace it, it's cool, you'll come to love it in time, you know? There's so much about it that I really enjoy, like all the little side quests and stuff, and like, one of the common criticisms of the game is that it's really empty. Everyone says it's really empty. There's nothing to do. And I don't understand that, because it's like, the game's on empty, it's full of Pokemon. You're playing Pokemon. You're looking for Pokemon. You go out, and it's full of Pokemon, and you run around and you go, I wonder how many more Pokemon there are. I wonder where I can find more Pokemon. If I go to that edge of the map, will there be a different Pokemon? Oh, there is. That's what the world is full of. It's full of Pokemon. And then they add little things like the you have to collect the little spirits for the Spiritomb, and you're like, oh, this is obviously going to be a Spiritomb, and I probably have to collect all the spirits to get the Spiritomb. That's a little collectible. It's like the stupid little Korok seeds in Zelda, you know, oh, I better explore the whole map and find them. It's the same thing. I don't know why it was good in Zelda and it's not good in this. You've got the unknowns. It gives you find an unknown, you've got the whole alphabet of unknowns. You have to find every unknown. Wow, cool, I want to explore the rest of the world and find all the unknowns. You're motivated by wanting to find Pokemon, because it's a Pokemon game, you know? You've never been motivated to find Pokemon in the other Pokemon games, because there's no point.
Yeah, I mean, once you get your team, it's like, why would you then change it up?
And that's what I love the most about this game, is that, like, I've never been more motivated to actually catch all the Pokemon and find the Pokemon. It's like, when you get into spoilers, like, so you beat the game, and you feel like, okay, that obviously wasn't the end, that was just, like, the soft story end, you know? Because, like, there's endgame content. It immediately tells you, hey, there's endgame content, do these things. And then you start doing them, and you find like, it sends you on this awesome set of quests where you have to go catch all these legendary Pokemon and have these cool little battles. And, like, the legendaries have their own, like, little mini-boss fights where, like, they're really simple and easy, but, like, you go find Heatran, and he's surrounded by a flame vortex, and you have to throw mud balls at him to make the flames go away before you can battle him. Like, little stuff like that, you know, it's not super impressive, but it's fun. And then, you're working with the guy, and then it turns out he was the real bad guy, and then you have this awesome trainer battle where you have to fight all 6 of his Pokemon, and then you get to fight Giratina, who turns out to be, like, you know, the ultimate Lovecraftian horror bad guy, and you're like, oh, cool, that's neat. The spatial rend was caused by Giratina, and I gotta fight him now, and you have to fight him in 2 forms, and it's really hard, and you don't even get to catch him, and then he runs away, and you have to catch him later, and you're like, oh, that was neat, that was cool. I don't feel like that happened in any other Pokemon game. The endgame stuff in Sword and Shield was pretty dumb. Like, the endgames always felt like a throwaway in the Pokemon games, you know? And in this game, it doesn't. And then, after you beat Darkrai, you sit on the thing, and Arceus tells you, find every Pokemon. And the game tells you, your next objective is to find every Pokemon in the game. And you're like, oh my god, I actually have a motivation to catch every Pokemon. I've never felt this way before. It's always just felt like completing the Pokedex was a tedious afterthought that I've never wanted to do ever. Because I always lost interest after I was done playing the game. Partially because finding all the Pokemon usually entailed lots and lots of boring grinding. And this game does not have lots and lots of boring grinding. It has lots and lots of interesting, fun grinding, where I get to fight strong Pokemon, and you can just throw a Pokeball and catch a guy without it being a whole ordeal, where you're trying to whittle down the health of this fucking level 10 Pokemon with all your level a billion Pokemon, you know? It's just like all the nice things that I love about this game more than every other Pokemon game. And I'm like, if it's better than every other Pokemon game, and you all love all the other Pokemon games, then why don't you love this fucking Pokemon game? It's a better Pokemon game. What more do you need? I don't get it. It's silly. It's because everyone judges things based on their mental image of what the perfect game could be. It's like, I get it. It's easy to imagine how many ways it could be better. But they didn't do that. That's not what happened. This is the game that's here. You gotta judge the game that's here, you know? I just think people are too annoying about it. And it's disappointing, because I think it's a great game. And I think if it came out 10 years ago, it would be a timeless classic, you know? It was just a funny thing about it, where it's like, people still love Pokemon on the Game Boy. And if you think about the Game Boy, at the time, the Game Boy looked like fucking dick and balls. Like, it's terrible. It looks awful compared to the Sega Genesis and compared to, you know, other handheld consoles that were available at the time. Like, Sega had put out better handheld consoles. They were just more expensive, you know? And, like, still, your brain was able to say, like, Pokemon looks like ass, but it's fun. Even though, like, my N64 games look a lot better, Pokemon is still the most fun game I have, you know? You're able to comprehend that because you're not a dickhead. Because it doesn't matter, because it's a fun game. And it's like, are you having fun? Are you playing the game and having fun? Then it's a good game. Shut the fuck up. Let yourself have fun. What's going on? Everyone's loving it. Everyone's having so much fun. Everyone had so much fun playing the game. It's only their imagination that makes them stop themselves from liking it, you know? That's my rant. I can keep going, but now Hope is isolated in her in her not having played the game. Oh, are you enjoying my big Pokemon rant?
Yeah.
Is it fine? Okay. Cause I could just go on about Pokemon forever. Cause I like it. I really like it. It's really good. I want people to play it and appreciate it the way that I do. I think it's really cool when you fucking oh cool shortcut. But I really like so there's a side quest where you go to this island and there's a dude and he's like he's really fixated on something. And he's like, I want you to bring me that Pokemon that has, like, the Scythe arms. And that would be real helpful for me. So you're like, oh, that's a Scyther. I know what that is. He doesn't know what it is because he's a dumbass. I know Scyther. So you go catch the Scyther, and you bring it to him. And he's like, oh, thank you. Now I can harvest every single flower that's on this island, which is covered in flowers. I need to harvest every single flower. And you're like, why? He's like, oh, it's because my wife is sick and she loves these flowers. So I have to bring her every single flower. And you're like, why are you doing that? You're overdoing it. And he's like, oh my god, I'm overdoing it? Oh no! I guess I won't do that. I'll just bring her like a flower. Thank you. And it was just like this cute little quest. And I like that. I like how cute the game is. I like that you go around town and you catch Pokemon for people and they're really stupid and silly and it's fun. And I've heard no one say anything positive about this fucking side quest because they go, oh, all the side quests are just like go catch a Pokemon and show me the Pokemon. You're playing Pokemon. What do you want the side quest to be? Do you want to go collect 10 berries? That's what the side quests usually are in these fucking games. In non-Pokemon games. Is that exciting to you? What should the side quest be? It's the same thing as every other fucking game with side quests. Except this one you get to catch our Pokemon. It's like, yeah, the goal of the game is to catch every Pokemon. And so they give you a little side quest. There's like 100 side quests that help you catch 100 Pokemon. And it gives you a little cute little story to go along with it to motivate your Pokemon catching. Except no one interacted with any of that shit. They said, oh, side quests are boring. I'm just gonna catch everything randomly and have no fun and engagement with the game. Ugh. I'm not gonna appreciate anything that they fucking put in the game because it looks like doo-doo. It's stupid. The writing's for babies. Oh, then don't play it. Go play something. Go play fucking Elden Ring, you bitch. Why does it have to be the game that you want it to be? Oh my god. This is my big boy Pokemon rant. It's just a good game, man. It's real fun. I like running around and I like catching Pokemon. Because I like Pokemon. They even have new forms of evolving some Pokemon where like a lot of the new guys are like, you gotta catch them, and you gotta use their signature move 20 times. Which is a bit tedious, but if you were, like, organically playing the game, you would do that anyways, like, if you just had that Pokemon and you were using it to beat the game, you know?
Yeah.
It's a little tedious when you're, like, trying to complete the whole Pokedex, but, like, it's neat that it could organically happen like that. And you'd be like, oh, my guy's evolving randomly, because I used him a lot.
I like Hisui and Typhlosion because he looks emo.
Yeah. And I'm like, I just want to see all the new Pokemon. Like, I love that. That's all I really need. Everything else is icing on the cake, you know, because I love Pokemon. I like to look at them. I like to catch them. I like to be their friends. I like that you can throw all your Pokemon out of their Pokeballs and they'll stand around and they'll look at each other and they'll go, Ree! And they do their little animations, and that's a lot more than you got in any of the other Pokemon games. I don't need to be able to ride them. I don't need to be able to ride every one of my Pokemon. I think they tried to do that in Pokemon, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. They did that, where you actually could surf on your Pokemon, I think. And, you know, it's not that important.
Yeah.
I like to ride around on the Basculegion and jump around. It's really cool. That guy's a lot of fun. I'm trying to... This is like the definitive endgame fucking Pokemon Arceus rant, so I might as well try to get all the points out there.
Yeah. Empty your brain.
Yeah, and the other thing is the graphics. I've said this in the last one, I think, but like I really think the game is designed to be played on the Switch Lite, and like that's what they're designing the graphics and gameplay for. People get really caught up in like, you know, it's all these fucking gamers and they all play on their TV because no one actually uses the handheld version of the Switch that I use, you know, which is my preferred way of playing. And when you play handheld, the graphical shit doesn't bother you at all. And I think the game actually looks better than a lot of the other Switch games on handheld mode, because I think they actually designed that with that consideration in mind, which any game that isn't a first-party Switch game does not consider that at all in their UI or anything. And so it usually looks really muddy. And like, trying to play Dark Souls remastered on the Switch handheld, it's like, it's hard to read the text. It looks kind of muddy and gross and weird, and it's too detailed, and like, a game like Pokemon Arceus looks way better on the handheld, you know? And I think Game Freak is still making handheld games, and I think they still like that, and I think Nintendo still wants there to be, you know, they've always done best with their handheld market, especially in Japan, you know, where probably a lot more people are playing it handheld than in America, where I guess nobody just engages with the handheld anymore. It's like, I love the 3DS, you know, why doesn't anyone play handheld anymore? I don't get it. I love handheld. I can play on the couch. It's comfy.
That's because you're not a gamer.
Yeah, I guess I'm not a gamer. It's like, yeah, a lot of these games look like dick on your TV, because they weren't really made for that. You can't design for both at the same time a lot of the time, you know? You kind of have to choose which one you're prioritizing in terms of, like, how you're designing the game. I'm really going through and I'm killing every snake.
Yeah.
And it's taken all my blood vials, but maybe it'll be worth it. Because you get lots of shards killing all these goddamn snakes. The snake balls are cool.
Snake ball.
It's basically a Pokemon.
Yeah.
This is what people want Pokemon to look like.
Yeah.
They want Ekans to be a giant, horrific ball of snakes.
I don't understand the people who want hyper-realistic Pokemon. It's like, you've seen it. It looks bad.
It's like, those are the people who just aren't, like, their appeal of Pokemon is not the same as ours, you know? They like that they get to catch monsters. And it's the people where, like, there are certain people where you get the sense where playing Pokemon as a kid, like, they took the graphics as, like, an abstract representation of what it should be, you know?
Right.
And people who think of anime as like that, like, oh, this is an abstraction of a human, you know? And, like, I'm imagining it as what it would be like if it were in real life. And you have that constantly, like, oh, this video game in real life, you know? That's, like, been a constant aesthetic thing. And it's like, these are people who, fuck. It's so easy to die to these snake men. But, like, these are people who are filling in the blanks with their imagination, you know?
But
and
your
like,
imagination is just real life?
I saw a comment, because, you know, my YouTube feed recommends me all kinds of weird shit, and they always give me, like, Legend of Zelda remade in Unreal Engine, which I fucking hate. They always look like total ass. But, like, you go in the comments, and it's all like, this is so amazing, it's so cool. And I saw this comment that said, because the video was Lake Hylia Unreal Engine 5. You know, and so they remade the level from Ocarina of Time in Unreal Engine 5, and it looks, oh, the lighting and the graphics, wow, it looks so crazy. And their comment was, this is what I imagined Lake Hylia looked like when I was running around here for hours as a little kid. And, like, that's what these people, like, that's their perspective, you know? Like, some people played Pokemon as a kid and they imagined, what would this Pokemon look like in real life? And, like, they got an appeal out of that, you know? I took the Pokemon as, what do they look like on their Pokemon card? That's what the Pokemon's meant to look like, because that's what it's meant to look like. It's not meant to be an abstract representation of a real monster, you know? That's what the Pokemon looks like. And so when you get, like, Detective Pikachu, it's like, oh, what would they look like in real life? And, like, some people want that, you know? They want Pokemon to look like that. It's like, no, that's not the point. That's not the art style. Like, they're little anime monsters, and that's what I want. Like, I don't want them to look realistic.
Doesn't it kind of defeat the purpose if it just looks like the real world?
Yeah, I don't get it, you know? And we will never understand, because we're fucking anime weeaboos, you know, I guess. But, like, I don't like the realistic looking things. I like cute little Pokemon.
Yes.
I don't want to see a realistic Pokemon.
God forbid you enjoy a non-realistic aesthetic.
Yeah.
Or
It's
an
so
abstraction
odd.
of any sort of style.
And so, like, with Pokemon Arceus, it's like people want, like, a more in-depth world out of it. And I'm like, I don't want that at all. I want what it is right now, you know? And I could maybe understand, like, the argument for more graphical fidelity in terms of, like, having it look more like Breath of the Wild or something, in terms of, like, being kind of a cel-shaded... Like, it can still be a cartoony art style and look better than it does. But that's not what it is.
Right.
So, get over it. Like, please judge the game based on what is there, you know? I just don't think it's fair, you know? But that's always my perspective, and everyone tends to disagree with me.
I just don't see the appeal of taking something so fantastic and being like, I want it to look real.
Yeah.
It's like,
And there's
just
such
go
an
outside and
argument-
look at a fucking dog then.
Like, everyone so passionately will call Game Freak lazy, you know? And they think it's so lazy. It's such a lazy design because it doesn't have the good frame rate and it doesn't have the draw distance that people want and stuff. And I'm like, and the art style isn't to their liking. And I'm like, well, like, maybe they wanted it to look like this, you know? Like, what if they did? Like, what if this is fine to them and they thought it was acceptable, you know? And they're just not... Because, like, Nintendo has always been a company that doesn't really care about graphic fidelity, you know? They've always cared about how fun is the gameplay. And I think the gameplay wouldn't be any more or less fun if it had a better draw distance to me, you know? Especially because there's certain objects that they do draw in from really far away, like the little Spiritomb orbs that come out at night. Like, you can see those from fucking anywhere. So, like, they had certain things that they were willing to have drawn in, you know, because they know that you need to see those from far away, but you don't really need to see the trees from far away if it's gonna make the fucking frame rate go to 5 FPS or something, you know?
I feel like you pretty much always saw the rift, too.
Yeah, you always see that. But it's like, you know, in like, who knows what complications they have to deal with fucking having 300 Pokemon in the game. Like, I don't know shit about game design. It does, like, you play Bloodborne and you look at how fucking intense this is and you think, like, well, how the fuck, you know? But, like, I don't know, you know, I don't know. Not every game has to be Bloodborne. I really want to take my souls back. Maybe I'll just Homeward Bone, and then I can just run to the boss. It's very easy to just run through this place and go to the boss. I was just collecting souls because I want level ups.
Is Homeward Bone the Homeward Bound sequel?
I don't know if I have it. Yes, it is a sequel to Homeward Bound. Homeward
Except
Boned.
all of the animals are skeletons now.
Yeah.
The dog and the cat are skeletons.
Scaly animals. But yeah, and I don't really think it's valid to be disappointed in this game either, because I think it was very clear what it was going to be from the trailers, and they did not shy away. Like, they didn't hide anything. They showed you, like, some fucking jank-ass frame rates in the trailers, you know? It was right there. They showed
there
you.
from the start.
And, like, even in Dark Souls and shit, like, enemies that are far away have jank-ass frame rates. It's a pretty normal game thing to do. But, you know, they pulled no punches, they hid nothing. This is how Nintendo does it. They show you exactly what the game's gonna be like in the trailers. And they go, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. And they are not ashamed. It's kind of remarkable, because I remember when the trailers were coming out, and I was like, oh god, like, people are gonna rip this to shreds. And they did. But I'm sure it still sold really, really well. Especially with their target demographic of 10 to 15-year-olds.
Of literal babies? Yeah.
I think it was interesting that they canonically aged up the Pokemon character in this game.
A good move, honestly.
Even though I feel like in the canon, like, 10 years old was established by the anime and never by the games.
True. True.
But in this game, they do say, the professor's like, or someone's like, how old are you? Like 15? And so it's like not explicitly said, but it's kind of like that indicates to me that they are keeping in mind that their demographic is like, 15-ish for this game.
Well, I think even if you're getting a younger kid playing, like when you're 10 and then you get to play a game with someone who's 15, you're like, yeah I'm older, it's cool. And I mean, everyone who's mad about Pokemon can just play the Kirby baby game when it comes out in a couple weeks.
Yes, it looks so good.
Go play your other baby game for babies, you babies.
And and there's also the take of like thinking that Pokemon should age up with its audience, and it
That's the
should
dumbest
not.
thing I've ever heard.
And then it's just like,
it's for kids, dude. Just because you played it as a kid and now you're an adult doesn't mean it grows up with you.
Yeah.
It is an IP meant to appeal to children first and foremost. It is not for you.
It's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's the ultimate philosophy of Pokemon, is if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And also, not everything needs to cater to you.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, stop playing it. That's all you have to do. Literally stop.
Yep. Don't buy it. Don't fucking buy it. Everyone bought it.
Literally.
You sure did buy it, and then you complain about it.
This is a stupid baby game. Well, then guess what? You're a stupid baby for playing it. Stop.
Yeah.
If that's what you think, you are a stupid baby. Stop it.
Everyone just wants to hop on the trend. It seems like every fucking new Pokemon game, all of a sudden people come out of the woodworks to get excited about it when they haven't played Pokemon games in fucking forever.
That's the weird thing. Is like
when X and Y came out, that was the first time where it was like people were really fucking hype about it, and it was like, these games never stopped coming out. Like, why is everyone so excited for this one?
I think it's
because it had 3D graphics for the first time.
A lot of people, like especially people now, like people our age who haven't touched the property in 15 years, like they're nostalgic now. They're adults. They're in the middle of their adult grind set life, and they're like, "Oh man, Pokemon!
Yeah,
I remember that. I should play the new Pokemon."
And I think that there's just tons of people that just never liked the gameplay of Pokemon. They just like to engage with the aesthetics of Pokemon, and I understand that. The games are tedious, It's a introduction to JRPG type game.
Well, when you're a kid, you got nothing but time.
Yeah.
You got nothing but time and energy, and you can sit down and do all that. And then as an adult, you find yourself not so willing to do that.
But then the whole design philosophy of Nintendo's handheld games is that, like, and this is something I wanted to bring up in regards to Arceus as well, in the way that they designed the game. Because, like, I've heard them say in interviews before about other games that they tried to design it where you can accomplish minor goals very quickly. Because Nintendo games have always been designed for, like, in consideration of a morning commute on the subway. Like, that's what the Game Boy was initially inspired by. It was like, we want to have a game console that you can play on your morning commute on the subway as opposed to reading a newspaper,
Yeah.
So they've always tried to make it so that you could accomplish small goals very quickly. Like, if you think about the game design of Pokemon, like, usually you go down little routes and you fight tons of trainers, and, like, you're designed to turn it on, play for 30 minutes, beat a few trainers, turn it off, continue your day, And so Pokemon Arceus is designed with that same philosophy in mind, and that's why, like, the world is incredibly dense with Pokemon. They're easy to catch. You have all these little goals you can accomplish and little side quests, so you can just turn it on, play for an hour, accomplish a few things, and then move on, It's not... They've never really designed things with the hardcore gamer in mind who's going to sit down and be immersed in an experience for 20 hours, Like, it's not designed to be played like Bloodborne. The Pokemon games have always been designed to be light, breezy, handheld games. They've always been about 20 hours long, 20, 26 hours. Like, every single one hits that mark. And, like, I think with this game, in terms of its length, it's designed to be 26 hours long, They didn't want it to go on forever. And the maps and stuff are designed to be easily breezed through, and you can get from one end of the map to the other very quickly, so that it's not this daunting, humongous game with all this shit to do and all these tasks, and like, it doesn't take you 80 hours to complete, because they don't want to make that game, That's not what Pokemon is meant to be. And that's just not in the conversation around it, you know? People don't take any consideration into, like, how or why they design these games the way they do. They just think they do everything on accident and that they are incompetent and can't make a good game, you know?
A game for filthy casuals.
Yes. And it is. Pokemon is a game for casuals. It always has been, and it always will be, because, like, there has to be a first game for everyone, you know? And I hate when they try to take away everyone's first game experience by making it too fucking complicated. Like, Dark Souls should not be the first video game someone plays. It's not meant to be the first game people play. It's meant to be a hardcore game for hardcore people who want punishment in their lives. But, like, someone has to have their first game. Like Kirby, you know? Kirby's always been this very disappointing franchise for growing game audiences. Because Kirby is literally designed to be baby's first Mario. That was the idea of Kirby, the first game, is that they wanted to make a baby game for babies to learn how to play video games, you know? So, like, yeah, you're supposed to see that as a little baby and go, ooh, cute Kirby, I want Kirby, and then you should be able to play it very easily. And that's, Kirby the Crystal Shards was my favorite game of all time when I was 8, you know? Like, because that's who it's for.
Wow, what were you, a stupid baby?
I was a stupid baby, and I was bad at video games.
Oh, pig.
I couldn't even beat the final boss of Kirby the Crystal Shards.
Because you were a stupid baby. Good
oh my god.
He really
absolutely
just...
railed. So yeah, that's why Pokemon doesn't age with its audience, because it's meant for a new generation every time, you know? And like, they're bending over backwards to give concessions to hardcore players that they don't even need to give, you know? They don't need to put in online battling. They don't need to let you carry Pokemon over from other games. They don't even need to bring the old Pokemon back. They're doing that for the older audience, you know? Because the new kids don't know the difference. So like, they are making concessions for you. And those concessions probably take up fuckloads of their time, you know? For them to keep this fucking battle system consistent over so goddamn long with so many moves and so many Pokemon and so much fucking balancing that they have to do with the level system and, like, trying to keep things, somewhat balanced at all. Not that they are. But, you know, they try. They do try. Ooh. I like Pokemon. I like it a lot.
I never would have guessed.
It's a good franchise. They're always making good ass games that are just they're fun and breezy, you know? You can pick it up every couple years and play through it.
Victor, video games aren't for having fun.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
What are they for? They're for punishment.
Yeah.
That's right.
They're to
for
make
punishing your mind and body.
Suffer.
All right. We're recording again. Had technical issues, so the other episode cut out randomly. Luckily, we hadn't gone very much further after that.
Well, depending on what kind of Big and Hope content you like, there was some pretty primo faffing about.
Because the episode ended abruptly, and then we started a new one, and we had some really great faffing about, and now that's gone.
Yeah. You can still sing
it wasn't
the song.
recording. Yeah, because I was like, what should we do for an intro song? I'm gonna sing an intro song. It was really good. That was a cute Vic bit. It was good. And I said, you know, I was like,
yeah.
First Hope was born, and then I was born, and now we're adults and we're playing games. It's Vic and Hope. And it was nostalgic, you know, for the old days. And you guys, you lost it. You lost that beautiful moment.
Yeah.
As we lose many beautiful moments on this show, I guess I won't trust Elgato's stream capture either. Like, I think it had froze out.
Trust no one, not even Elgato stream capture.
Yeah, like it had cut out, I think, because my hard drive was running out of space. It was like 50 gigs left or something, and so I deleted a bunch of shit. And then I started the recording again, you know, thinking it would be fine, but it was still frozen. And so now I restarted the software, and the timer is working again, so that's good.
We like that.
Yeah, so now we're back. Sorry you're not gonna get all the cute little jokes that we were making before.
You missed the bit about fisting the hog.
Oh my god, we missed fisting the hog! God damn it. I went up and I fisted the hog, and I was like, in the next time we play Bloodborne, I'm gonna name my character Hog Fister. And it's the ultimate game for if you want to fist some hogs.
We were up on the ledge watching the hog, and he was wandering around, and then we jumped down, and then we put our sword right up his ass.
And I made some jokes about how everyone complains about Pokemon Legends, and how the Pokemon are just walking around the environment, even though every single game does the exact same fucking thing, where things are just kind of walking around, not really interacting with the environment. Dark Souls Bloodborne actually do a decent job of getting away from that sometimes, where the enemies will be interacting with their environment. But like the hogs are just kind of walking around, you know, waiting for you to like Dark Souls especially is very infamous for having the giant T-Rex legs that just stand around in Lost Islet and are the dumbest, jankiest looking thing that's ever happened in video games. And yet it's the greatest game of all time. It gets a complete free pass for all of its janky bullshit.
I mean, let's be honest, though. If you've ever been around a hog in real life, that's pretty much what it's like.
Yeah, they just sit around and wait for you to interact with them.
They really don't be doing shit.
And that interaction is that they pull you over and give you a ticket. They do nothing. They're NPCs.
You didn't think that was an ACAB that was going that direction, did you? We gotcha.
Got him.
We fucking pulled you in, man.
ACAB,
you thought we were talking about.
homies.
You thought we were talking about some pigs, some bacon. We
pigs
weren't.
in Zen.
We were. It was going a direction you never could have guessed.
I'm talking about the pigs. The pigs. Goddamn pigs.
But we are fisting some hogs today.
That's a bonus track off of the first self-titled Jane's Addiction album.
Yeah.
No one's heard that song before, except for my family, probably. I don't know.
I mean, probably.
Pigs in Zen. Look it up. It's about the pigs.
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna take your word for it.
Goddamn pigs!
I will take your word that song exists.
Yep.
Totally believe you.
Oh, and we fought this guy once.
Yeah, we died to these guys fucking instantaneously.
Yeah, I instantly died.
We got riggedy wrecked. As
what happens when fighting these guys. You either run in and demolish them, or you have a long, horrific fight.
So, is there a canonical reason that there's ring wraiths in Bloodborne?
Probably.
Huh.
They are kind of ring wraiths.
We need to go back and watch some Vadi Vidya then.
Yeah. Vadi
Vidya.
You didn't know that this took place in J.R.R. Tolkien's cinematic universe? Vadi Vidya has been up to fucking making Bloodborne fanfiction art contests for a long time. And fucking digging around and then milking Elden Ring trailer release content.
Oh.
Waiting for that to come out.
Well, I mean, that's
because
his bread
he can't
and butter.
make anything that isn't Dark Souls, so he'll just make more Dark Souls if he has to talk about more Dark Souls.
Fine. If FromSoft won't give me Dark Souls, I'll make my own Dark Souls.
Exactly.
Fuck it.
They've got literally like design theoretical Elden Ring lore character content. Or I think their most recent one was Bloodborne 2 concept art. If there was a Bloodborne 2, what would the bosses look like? They just are obsessed.
Schrodinger's Bloodborne.
Just making up their own lore. I feel like those are the kind of communities that like build things up so much that you're inevitably going to be disappointed by everything because you're so obsessed with like your ideas of what the game is going to be like, you know?
Yeah.
Where like all of a sudden everything that the community came up with is so much cooler than what the sequel ends up being that it's like...
No expectations is key.
Even though I feel like most of this stuff is always really lame. Because it's like, you know, the most obvious thing that the game developers aren't interested in doing at all. Wow. People always be liking obvious shit. Okay, that's backwards. Yeah. Seeing if there's like a shortcut to get down there, because I can't remember the fastest way to get to this fucking boss. Because I know you can do it much faster than I have been. Ah.
Very
Anyways,
clean.
so we got some stories to tell. I want to finish up a couple thoughts on Pokemon Legends because I thought of some other things that I hadn't talked about before.
Yeah.
Just to really bring this discussion to an end. Hopefully, I just want to get everything out there that I have to say about Pokemon Legends.
The definitive rant.
But I really like the new direction they've taken with the combat system, and I hope that it sticks around because like, you know, Pokemon's always had turn-based combat, and the turns usually work as, like, you pick a move, your opponent picks a move, and then the faster Pokemon uses the move first, you know?
Right.
Or it's not like your turn, their turn, your turn, their turn. It's, everyone takes the turn at the same time, and then the faster Pokemon goes first. Which usually results in you have a fast Pokemon, and you just steamroll everything in one hit. And that's pretty much how every Pokemon game ends up by the end. It ends up getting really boring. So it's usually more interesting when your Pokemon are lower leveled, because you actually have to, like, kind of try a little bit, and you're not going to kill everything in one hit. But at the end of the game, you're just fucking steamrolling everything with your powerful-ass Pokemon, who's incredibly fast and will never get hit. In Pokemon Arceus, it's... like, the mechanics are very interesting in the way that it is, like, your turn, their turn, your turn, their turn. But then sometimes you can have 2 turns, or the enemy can have 2 turns. And what makes it really challenging is that the enemy almost always attacks first. So, like, you still have the ability where, like, a lot of Pokemon can just one-shot each other, but, like, you can get one-shot immediately if you're not playing the game right, you know? So it kind of flips that on its head and takes, like, the ultimate Pokemon empowerment fantasy that you're used to. It kind of turns it around on you where, like, you know that in most encounters, your guy could get fucking wiped immediately, you know? And it might be, like, you started off with the Pokemon that is the best against the Pokemon that you saw in the wild. You throw him out there and he gets wrecked and you're like, oh, well, no one else on my team can beat this guy now, you know? So you actually have to kind of think about the way you approach things. And there's some interesting, like, mechanics that I don't see a lot of people engage with when I watch Let's Plays and stuff. Because, like, the primary challenge battles of the game are the giant Pokemon walking around that are usually, like, super high-leveled, you know? And so, like, if you just run up to any of those Pokemon, they will always notice you immediately and scream at you, and then you fight them, and they always get the first move, no matter what. And so the way that you're meant to approach those battles is that, like, if you sneak up on them from behind and throw a Pokeball, then you'll catch them unawares, which is what the game says. It says you caught them unawares.
Indeed.
And you get to attack first. So it gives you this big incentive to try to actually, like, engage with the game mechanics in the way of, like, sneaking and hiding and trying to approach them in an interesting way. And, like, you can do other ways to interrupt them with, like, mud balls and stuff like that. And, like, through a lot of the game, I hadn't been engaging with those mechanics. So you just think, like, oh, I'll just run in there and fight or whatever. And it becomes a lot more fun when you actually play the game the way that the developers want you to, you know? And
Right.
I haven't been seeing a lot of that happening. And then it also changes the battle mechanics, even with the trainer battles, where, like, a lot of the trainers will attack first. And, especially in, like, the final battle, like, Giratina will fucking come out and absolutely wreck all of your Pokemon. And so it really incentivizes you to think about, like, having super highly defensive Pokemon on your team and keeping around the status effect moves, you know? Those moves that no one uses in any Pokemon game unless you're in, like, super elite Pokemon competitions, where, like, it was super pivotal for me in the final battle to put the Pokemon to sleep, you know? And that made a big difference. And, like, stuff like that where it's just, like, mechanics that usually fall by the wayside by the end of the game because it becomes so, like, if you don't one-shot the enemy's Pokemon, they're probably going to one-shot you, so you just go for the one-shot attack always, you know? But if you can't attack first, then you have to get a little more creative with how you play the game, you know? And they mix in the strong versus agile style stuff in there too, where it's like you might be able to one-shot the Pokemon if you use a strong style move, but then the strong style move makes it so that the enemy Pokemon can attack twice in a row. And so if you're fighting a trainer and you strong style knock out the Pokemon that they have out, then the next Pokemon they send out is going to be able to hit him twice, you know? And you're going to get fucking shreked. So you have to think about, like, the way that you strategize your moves. And there's some Pokemon, like, my favorite Pokemon to play with was, the Hisuian Lilligant because it had sleep powder, which worked in really interesting ways, and it was really fast, so I was able to make it attack twice in a row a lot of the times. And then it has a move called Victory Dance that makes its next attack do like fucking way more damage, and it raises its attack and defense for 1 turn. So you're able to kind of like strategize on like delivering this super heavy attack without using a strong style buff or whatever. So it was like, oh my god, I'm thinking about playing Pokemon in a way that's different from the last 7 Pokemon games where you haven't really engaged with all those little attack types, and it always prioritizes like the strongest Pokemon wins, you know? So I appreciated that a lot. And they have some interesting new attacks that kind of take advantage of that, where like Giratina uses an attack that wrecks your Pokemon and then also makes it so his evasiveness goes super high up, and it makes it harder for you to hit him. So you really gotta fucking think about how you approach that fight, or you're just gonna get owned over and over again. Yeah, so that's my final thoughts on Pokemon Arceus. I wanted to actually talk about the combat system and how good it is. But I thought it was cool. And I actually, you know, my Pokemon died a lot, and that does not usually happen in Pokemon games. You usually put the best guy forward, you throw out Honchkrow, and he ruins everything, and your brain melts out of your head, like in fucking Diamond and Pearl. Like, I never had even a slight challenge in that game until, like, the final battle, you know? So it was cool. Anyways, alright, I can finish that. What do we want to talk about now? Now, Hope's brain is melting out of her head as I talk about the battle mechanics of Pokemon Arceus. I love you.
I love you.
Thank you for tolerating this nerd.
Ooh.
Okay, Philadelphia. What did we do? We went somewhere.
Well, that was absolutely a random way to bridge that.
Introduce it. I want to stop steamrolling you in the conversation so you can get back into it. And not just have me ranting the whole time.
I haven't played Pokemon.
I think you should. I mean, you can play my copy. You know, you don't have to buy it yourself.
Yeah.
And then you can see if you think it's fun and how much you're going to play it. And then, you know, and there's no rush to beat it. You can just play it and have some fun. Play some Pokemon.
Yeah, I just don't have a lot of intrinsic drive to interact with video games.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's not a problem, you know? Not everyone has to play every game.
I've been spending my free time reading my horror novels.
Hope's been reading books, guys. Do you want to tell us about the books?
What I've been doing.
You like to tell us about movies, but you never tell me about all the plot of the books.
It's hard to tell people about books. Books don't.
I mean, they have plots.
Translate into summation as well as movies do.
Yeah, I mean, movies are a lot shorter and easier to summarize.
And, you know, recommending someone a book is way more of a time sink than a movie.
Yeah.
You know?
But I'm sure we got book readers in the audience.
Well,
ooh, just degloved that asshole! I have prolapsed
there
his
you
anus.
go. I was gonna say, you mean you prolapsed.
I am the
pig.
prolapser.
Yes, the great prolapser.
Oh my god, I love fisting hogs. It's my favorite. I can't get enough of hog fisting.
Oh, God.
I can't get enough of hog fisting. Alright, continue.
Anyway. and usually people's tastes in books are extremely esoteric to them as an individual. Yeah. So, unless it's really good, I usually don't recommend books to people.
Books are so for book people, you know? You gotta have a disposition to books.
I mean, it's just like video games.
Yeah, exactly. Like, not everyone's gonna love playing video games.
It's exactly the same. Some people are not motivated to read. Some people are not motivated to play video games.
You gotta have that certain mental click engagement. Like, reading for me is painful. I don't
well,
like
you're
it.
illiterate
It hurts.
also, so...
It's not fun. I'm dyslexic. It takes me forever to read anything. And if I'm not really engaged, it's like, it's end of story. You know, I can't do it. It has to really be gripping me.
When was the last time you, like, read a book?
Like, read a book?
Like a book.
I think the last book I read was in college, and it was the Charles Manson book, but I didn't finish it.
Oh, well, then did you read the book?
No, I read
Yeah,
I read
exactly.
like half of it. The last time I think I read a whole ass book was probably like the Night Angel trilogy in high school, because like I had a friend who was into them and loaned me the first book or whatever.
What the fuck is Night Angel?
It's some fucking dork ass fantasy shit.
Is this Warrior Cats for boys?
No.
It sounds like Warrior Cats for boys.
It's high fantasy fucking... It's definitely some, like, incel empowerment shit where it's like...
Oh, so it's an isekai.
It's not an isekai. It's a fantasy, you know?
Like an isekai.
Yes, like an isekai.
Yeah.
But it was alright,
like,
you know?
So it's like Cole's Cash for men. Got it.
Ah, fuck, I'm trapped! Oh god!
That being said...
Shit, fuck, ass!
Books is hard, you know, to recommend books.
Yeah.
Just because the time sink, the attention required, and the person needs to vibe with your particular preferred genre. Like, I can't read nonfiction, I'm not gonna lie to you. I can't do it. I will not be able to pay attention.
Okay, I got one of them. Shit.
I have to read fiction, ideally horror.
Yeah.
That's all I can do. Sorry.
I read The Secret.
Yeah, how did that do for you?
It's not a good book, man. It's written for idiots, for sure.
Well, yeah.
It's written for babies.
It's written for
it's
people
like got giant text and lots of pictures.
Extremely
and, like,
naive.
It's all meant to look like the Da Vinci Code. It's all so stupid.
Ooh, the Da Vinci Code, which also has chapters that are like 2 pages long, so you feel smart.
It's very interesting. I'd love to read that now with a more critical eye, because like I read it when I was like a teenager, you know, and like my dad loves that fucking book, and like it changed his life and everything, you know, because he's like the kind of very gullible person to be able to buy
you're
into it.
You're susceptible to stuff like that, then you know.
And like it came at the right time where it's like that kind of the way it's presented and everything, where it was a simul release as like a book and a documentary, you know, and like it was on the forefront of like the new era of like pseudoscience documentaries.
Right.
Where like it takes all these things, it presents them as factual, it gets all these really personal accounts from people that like, you know, use this thing and change their life, even though it's like there's no fucking way to prove anything that it claims.
It's literally
like,
just manifesting, right?
Yeah. It is.
Like the short story is it's manifesting.
And it's what blew up the idea of like universe manifesting shit, you know?
Right.
Because it put it in a new lens, in a new context that centers like the individual very well, and so it resonated with people strongly, and ruined people's brains who are like Trixie, who are like, oh, the book says I'm God, and it's right, I'm God.
Well, a book written by some schmuck told me it, so it must be true.
Yeah.
Very cool. Thank you. Great job. I'm sorry. Every self-help book I've ever like looked at and like read the synopsis of, I'm like, oh, so it's for people who are dumb. Sorry.
Well, it's like self-help books are designed for people who are very vulnerable, you know? It's like it's for people who are struggling and need help, and so it gives them this thing where it says like, oh, this is how you're going to help yourself, and like you're so emotionally vulnerable that you're going to fall for it, you know?
I mean, go to therapy.
Yeah.
Honestly,
that's
therapy is going to be a way better use of your time.
But like people are so afraid of therapy, you know, and it's so hard to
because
to do
therapy
it.
is going to therapy is proof that you're weak.
And like therapy is difficult for some people, and it doesn't work for them, you know. Like therapy isn't for everyone.
Well, yeah, you definitely have to be willing to like be vulnerable and really like commit yourself to working on the process.
Yeah.
It's not a quick fix, unlike The Secret.
Exactly.
Which is a quick fix, and you don't have to be vulnerable or you know, share things that you don't want to share.
Yeah. And there are those people who just like my dad, who like reading a book about positive thinking was enough for him, you know, and it really changed the way that he thought and helped him, and it's like it had a good impact on his life, and he kind of was never the same after, you know. It's like some people just need to be told the right thing in the right way to get out of whatever fucking headspace they're in.
Yeah, I suppose so.
It's odd, you know? And to me, I never really... Like, I couldn't get into the kayfabe of it, you know? because it is very corny
Yeah.
and very like.
I think, especially for someone, I guess, like me, who is very, like, self-effacing
Yeah.
and doesn't want to, like, aggrandize my accomplishments. If I read a book and the book was like, you're a god and you can make anything happen, I'd be like, no, you're an idiot.
It's very dumb, and it's very, I don't know. It is.
You need
it
to
is
have
interesting.
that, like, self-bravado for that to work. And it's just like, I
Well,
don't have that.
It's like some people
I
have
can't.
to rationalize personal accountability in an interesting way, you know? Because, like, the concept of it is personal accountability in the way that, it's saying that everything that happens to you is being influenced by like the vibes you're putting out into the universe, you know. It's all based on like karma theory, where it's like if you have negative thoughts, negative things will come into your life, and that's the kind of the bedrock of it. So it helps people
Right.
rationalize like their own accountability in terms of like, oh, I have to change what I'm doing if I want to get what I want, you know? And that's and that's the right way to think.
And I mean,
It's just,
fundamentally, that I agree with that message.
yeah, and it's just that certain people need to hear it in that kind of context for it to click, you know?
Sure.
Like, everything is about that. That's all self-help.
Ooh.
It's just that, like, people need to understand
Suplexed.
it in different ways.
Yeah. I mean, I get that, but also I feel like that can be really detrimental too.
And the way that it can be detrimental is if people come at it and think, like, if I think this way, things will happen, you know? That's where it becomes problematic.
Well-
And when you're forcing yourself to change the way you think, so that, like, if you're seeing it as, I'm gonna do X thing to achieve Y outcome, you know? And that never really works.
And not just that, but like, there are bad things that happen to people that are completely outside of your influence.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
if you get raped, it's not because you put bad
Yeah.
vibes out into the fucking universe.
And that's the problematic side of it, and sort of, you know, it's like the same problems are there in, like, Christianity, where it turns into this personal guilt philosophy. And that's part of why it never worked for me, is that it was just like, I was such a negative kid that it's like, I just can't change that. And then you start to feel like, oh, well, everything that's happening to me is because I am so depressed, but I can't change that, you know? So I guess I'm just gonna be like this forever, I might as well die, you know? Like, that's where it can get really negative.
Yeah. There's just so much stuff that's completely outside of your control.
Yeah.
That just bad things will randomly happen to people, and it's not because you did anything. It's just the way of the world.
Yeah.
So to be like, oh, well, you could have prevented it, or like it's your fault because you thought whatever, like that's not helpful.
Yeah. There's always the helpful element is like, you shouldn't be just like waiting around for things to happen. You need to be taking personal action to make your life better, and not just like thinking that the world is going to give you what you want, you know? But like, you shouldn't be feeling guilty that your own sadness is causing you to suffer, you know? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Life is just full of suffering for no reason, you know? There's no cosmic meaning to any of it. If it helps you to think that there is, then that's nice, I guess, but there isn't. There's no rhyme or reason to certain things, you know?
Yeah.
There's no reason that you get cancer. Like,
Right,
nothing you did
exactly.
in your life
You
made you
didn't
deserve cancer.
Think negative thoughts and manifest cancer into your body. Like, that's just a roll of the dice.
Which is where, like, The Secret tries to focus a lot on, like, oh, I use positive thinking to help me cure my cancer as,
Oh,
like, an
God.
alternative medicine, you know, when science said that I was gonna die. And it's like, yeah, but, like, does this also mean that you caused your own cancer? Like, that's
Right?
kind of implied. If you were a good boy, then you shouldn't have got cancer in the first place, right? The universe should have been protecting you. I don't know. It's very dumb.
It's very silly. Silly behavior.
Oh, yeah, because that's the last book I read, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't think The Secret was the last book I read, but I did read The Secret. I've read books before. Did I have to read any books in college? Not really. I kind of phoned it in. I was supposed to read No Country for Old Men. I don't think I did.
Did you read the Spark Notes?
Oh, of course. Well, I mean, I saw the movie. Like, what do you...
Well, I mean, it's not as though the movie is always 100%
Yeah.
loyal to the book.
I just remember I was reading it and I was like, this is kind of a boring book. I like the movie. Like, why would I read the book? I don't like the book. I like the movie. The movie was good.
Whoa.
Oh, cool.
He's like a bunch of
Yeah,
nerds.
this guy's all fucked up. He's crazy. I bet he is meant to be like a...
He's like a spinal column.
Yeah, spinal column, nerves, human brain thing.
Whoa.
This guy's fucking crazy. There's only one of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I believe this is the only one.
Interesting.
And you don't have to fight it at all. It's just like this random ass enemy.
You can just,
That's just
walk
crazy
away.
shit.
Ooh. Cool.
Ugh. He's got the gaping dragon thing going on.
Yeah, he does have a big old maw. It's true.
Eh.
Nope, toilet's running.
Anyways, you want to get into the story of what we did this week?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
So, a couple months back, I had booked a tattoo appointment with an artist up in New Jersey.
Yeah.
She has a really particular style, it's super cute, and she had done these, like, character daggers, and I was like, man, I want a character dagger. What could I get? And I thought about it for a while, and then I was like, shit, wait a second. Whoa, there was a random pop in my ears.
And by character dagger, you mean that she draws daggers that have like little characters on
Yeah,
them.
like Sanrio characters, like a
Yeah.
Gretzko and Hello Kitty and Cinema Roll and stuff like that. And they're really like colorful and cute, but also they're really cool and unique.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, oh, those are neat. That's cool. What could I do? And I was like, well, I'm not really into like Sanrio and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I thought about it, and then I was like, oh, well, I could get a Chow, from like Sonic Adventure 2.
Because you're a nerd.
Because I was
Autism.
like, yeah, I am a lightly autistic person who grew up obsessed with the Chow Garden. That seems appropriate for me.
Mm.
So I messaged her, and she's like, yeah, sounds dope. We can totally do that. Do you want to incorporate stuff? She works the whole thing with me, and we schedule it for February. I'm like, all right, cool. So I had plenty of time to like get everything planned. I had gotten myself an Airbnb in Philadelphia, which is about 20 minutes away from New Jersey, because I didn't really want to stay in Jersey because there's nothing really out there. So I was like, well, I'm already driving 5 hours to Jersey anyway.
It's not in like New Jersey City. It's like in some little town.
It's bumfuck New Jersey. No offense, but like, it's just some little backwoods town, whatever, it's fine. But I was like, well, I don't really want to stay there, so let me just go. I'll stay in Philadelphia. That way I can like at least check out some cool stuff, maybe eat at some good restaurants. And, have a little experience in Philadelphia, take a 20-minute drive over to New Jersey for my tattoo, and then drive home. Because, like I said, 5-hour drive, so I didn't want to do 2 5-hour drives in between getting tattooed. So, all right, cool. Book the Airbnb. It's like this cool little place inside of a yoga studio that has been converted into a room. And I'm like, all right, cool, sick. It's nice and affordable. We're good to go. So I book it all. Everything's chill. I initially planned to go alone because I kind of assumed that Vic would have work.
And initially I was gonna have work.
Of course, impossible to know when Vic is going to work months ahead of time. There's no way to know.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I'll assume I'm going alone, and then if it works out that Vic doesn't have work, we'll go together. So the time's coming up. It's like coming up on the week of. And I'm like, hey, Vic, are you working on these days? And he was like, yeah, I'm working one of those days. I was like, all right, well, I'll just go by myself. I already kind of planned that would happen. No problem. We get to, like, the day before, and Vic is like, oh, my job got postponed, so now I can go. And I was like, all right, cool, sick. We get to go together. We'll spend a day in Philadelphia, and we'll dig around. So the thing that was cool about this place is that it is walking distance from Eastern State Penitentiary. And I had wanted to go check out that because, of course, it's, like, super haunted, super spooky inside. Like, really aesthetic. Even though I'm, more or less, I could take or leave if there's any, like, real ghost shit going on in there. But it is really cool from the pictures I've seen of the inside of that place. Mm. And it's also near a medical museum, like an old-fashioned medical museum called the Mutter Museum.
Oh, we didn't go there either.
And I was like, cool. Well, there's, like, all sorts of stuff that I can just walk to and go. So my initial plan was that on Thursday morning, I was going to leave really early so that I got there at like 12 or 1 because all of these places close at 5. So I was like, damn, so I'm probably only going to be able to hit one place because Eastern State is fucking huge. Like, it's a big place, and I knew it would take me a little bit of time, and I'd probably want to eat, so I was like, well, whatever. I'll just do that, and then, you know, eat and chill. but and I knew this would happen. I already knew. Yeah. Like, anytime that, you know, you add an extra person into a plan, it becomes more complicated, and so you're probably it's not gonna go off the way that you could or you planned if it was just you, because other factors come into play.
Victor ruins everything.
I didn't say that.
But
I just said I knew that things would not pan out the way that I originally planned them to, which was fine. So, you know,
it became a Vic and Hope adventure, not a clean, concise Hope adventure. It became a very messy, very silly Vic and Hope adventure.
But that's the beauty of having Victor in my life.
The key to this door. Yeah, I'm chaos.
Things are
I'm the dragon of chaos.
Yes, Jordan Peterson would say that the women are the dragon of chaos. Yeah. I would disagree.
Yeah,
I would say Victor is the dragon of chaos.
Probably me.
But in a
think
good
I
way.
might be the dragon of chaos
because things.
I'm the blue-eyes white dragon of chaos, of dark magician chaos. I'm the blue-eyes magician of dark chaos dragon.
Things can sometimes be a little too organized when it's just me. Things, you know, it's just like, yeah, things go exactly according to the plan. Oh, hi, what's up? Which can be good sometimes if you have business things to attend to and you're trying to literally, like, get your shit done and get out of there. But on vacations, it's, you know, you can take it or leave it. So anyway, of course, you know, right out the gate, we don't really get to leave as early as I had initially planned had I gone by myself. Whatever. Fine. We get down there, no problem, nothing exciting on the drive. We get out there, and it's like, it's about 2 o'clock. And so initially, I had gotten the Airbnb lady to give us the parking spot early, and I was going to park there and then, like, go to Eastern State because it was in walking distance. But what we ended up doing instead was driving into, like, city center of Philly.
Yeah.
We parked in the city because we were super hungry at that point, and we were like, all right, so first thing we need to do is find a bathroom and get some food.
Why did we park where we parked? Wasn't there somewhere we wanted to go that was closed?
We wanted to go to a place called Cleaver, because at first, my plan was I was going to get a Philly cheesesteak.
I was just like, how did this derail so hard? Why did we go over there?
So I had wanted to go to this place called Cleaver, get a Philly cheesesteak. We drive by it, and of course, like, city center, it's a city center. There's only parallel parking and parking garages. It's fucking full of cars. It's quasi like New York City in that, like, everyone is honking and there's fucking traffic everywhere and it's chaos.
Yes. It's very annoying to drive in Philadelphia.
We see that
oh, look, it's the guy.
Oh, hey guy, what's up?
How did I end up with him on my side? Old Hunt, he's one of the hat guys.
He is the follower of Nikolaj.
Grant us eyes.
Oh.
It's that guy.
Hey dude, you chilling?
The Pope.
Nice.
The Blood Pope. What you doing, buddy? Tell me to go down there? Yeah, I get it. Should I kill him?
I mean...
No, he's chilling.
He's just hanging out. He's getting a little moon bath.
He's probably molested some children.
I would say be nice to him. He's just hanging.
Alright. Let's, go beyond.
Oh, is this, a Rom the Vacuous Spider?
Yep, we're already, like, halfway through the game. Perhaps 60% through the game. See, we can beat this game.
I like Rom.
It's not that long, you know? And I don't have the DLC on the PS4, so...
She's so funny.
At least I don't think I have the DLC on here.
I mean, she's a little gross.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, she's chill.
But, like, cool gross.
Yeah, she's chill. I think if you weren't mean to her, you could have been friends.
Probably. But, alas, we must complete the game. The game ends when you get to Rob and you give her a big ol' hug.
Yay!
Game over.
There you go. That's my Bloodborne.
Oh, I'm not doing big damage.
But, anyway. So, place we wanted to go, not open. We park, and we're redirecting. Alright, shit, what are we gonna do now? So we're looking at places. And we find this place that has bao buns. And I was like,
Bao buns.
Bao buns. Because at this point, it's getting kind of late, and we still wanted to have dinner. So I was like, all right, well, let's get, like, a good snack, you know? Like a real good snack. And then we can get dinner later. Not too, like, you know, a couple hours. So I was like, bao buns. Perfect. That is a great snack food. Get a couple bao buns, and I'll be hungry in a couple hours, and it'll be fucking rad.
Shit. Oh, she's gone.
Bye.
And this is where things get complicated.
Where'd she go?
She went over there.
Bye.
And there's more spiders!
Woo!
Oh, there's a lot of spiders. Anyways, continue.
Anyway, so we're like, alright, cool.
So,
I map us to the bao bun place. It's in walking distance. So, like, that's a nice thing about the city here. Everything is once you park, everything's pretty walkable.
Yeah.
Sick. Love it. I love a walkable city. It's nice.
Oh, I'm dead.
Uh-oh. But, so we were walking to the place. At this point, so, like, for both days that we're scheduled to be there, the forecast for rain is, like, 100%.
Yeah.
So,
And
it's
it did
like,
rain literally
it
the entire
rained,
time.
The whole time we were
It
there.
never stopped raining.
Um,
Was it super heavy rain most of the time?
but it was, like, a constant medium drizzle the whole time. So we walk there, and, of course, by the time we get there, like, we're damp. You know, we're damp boys.
I would say we were damp.
And we're, like, wandering around the outside of this building that the GPS has directed us to that says this is where the bao bun place is. Mm-hmm. And we cannot fucking see any entrance to a restaurant, like, any signage, fucking nothing. So we're wandering around this area for, like, a good, like, 10 minutes or so before we realize that it's actually down in the subway. And that the GPS had neglected to tell us this.
Yep.
So we find the entrance to the subway, go underground. We're in this, like, underground complex full of little shops. In the underground complex of little shops, can't find the fucking bao bun place.
Yes. We
Continue
walk all around.
to wander around just the whole fucking complex, the underground complex of shops. And we're like, we're checking the registry, and we're trying to figure out where this place is. It's not listed anywhere. We cannot find it on the map. And we're like, God damn it. Is it, like, still here? What's the deal? And so finally, we do a big loop around. And as we loop back around, we finally find the bao bun place. And it turns out that when we had come down the stairs, we took a right. If we had taken a left, it was right there.
Yes.
It was immediately to our left as we came off the stairs.
Right behind us.
And I was like, alright, whatever. So at that point, Victor really has to pee. And we're hungry.
desperately needed to pee for, like, the last fucking hour.
And, of course, wouldn't you know it, in this whole goddamn subway.
In the whole city.
In every fucking store, no public bathrooms. No bathrooms.
Jesus Christ.
Like, no bathrooms. It is mind-boggling. No bathrooms. So,
it's fucking classic annoying city shit, man. There's no bathrooms fucking
This is
anywhere.
always how it fucking is in the north. Anytime you're in a city, they're like, we don't have any public bathrooms. We don't do that. We don't have any public bathrooms. Sorry. You're like, oh my fucking god.
Because they hate the homeless. They just hate them so goddamn much. It's ridiculous.
It is absolutely
like, God, just let some fucking people pee, man.
The theme of, like, the next 2 days is the inability to find a fucking public restroom.
Yeah.
Anywhere. Fucking anywhere. In a CVS, in a Starbucks, anywhere that, at least in the South, if you go somewhere and you go inside, they don't fucking password protect their bathrooms. You don't have to do a secret fucking dance to get into the bathrooms. You don't have to buy anything. You just go in the bathroom and fucking pee. I don't understand what it is about being in a city in the north where they're all of a sudden like, bathrooms are their most precious resource and they must be protected like a sweet innocent child. Because they cannot be laid bare to the masses.
They don't want the homeless people going in there and doing drugs in the bathroom.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
They're always doing drugs in the bathroom.
They're literally always doing drugs in the bathroom.
They don't pee, they just do drugs in there.
We eat our fucking we go to the bao bun place.
We eat our weed?
We eat our weed. We get a variety pack of the bao buns. We get a variety pack of gyoza. We fucking demolish. It's pretty good. It's pretty tasty.
Well, it's delicious.
It was good. They had some gyoza that were like really unusual.
Yeah, I wish I didn't have to pee, but everything was delicious.
Yeah, but it was really tasty. So we demolish the food. It's good. And at this point, it's like, all right. We really need to pee. I need to pee now as well. So we're like, fuck. So we remembered on the way down, we had passed a Starbucks. And I was like, well, maybe the Starbucks will have a public bathroom. Like, maybe we'll get lucky. And on the way back, I had also found this fancy coffee shop that I'd wanted to try. So I was like, well, okay, it's right next door to the fancy coffee shop. So let's go into the Starbucks, see if we can use the bathroom. And then if that doesn't work, we'll go to the fancy coffee shop and maybe we can use the bathroom there. We go into the Starbucks. And, like, literally, as we approach the back of the Starbucks, where the bathroom is, which clearly has a fucking padlock on the door where you have to enter a code. But as we approach, a girl comes out of the bathroom and Vic catches the door.
Yeah.
And we're like, yes, we're fucking in.
It was godlike.
Fuck you, Starbucks. I ain't buying shit. I'm using your bathroom, bitch. So we both get to sneak in and illegally use the bathroom. It's
Got
great.
all up in that fucking Starbucks bathroom.
By the way, at this point, we're both like real damp because we've been wandering around in like a pretty good drizzle for 30 minutes or so. So we're both damp boys. Thank God that we got into that Starbucks bathroom because I don't think the other coffee shop had a public bathroom.
Yeah.
So thank God that girl came out when she did and we snuck in when we did. Otherwise, we would have had a really bad time.
Yes. Or, God forbid, we would have had to buy something from Starbucks.
Or we would have had to buy something from Starbucks, which would have been tedious.
Water or something.
Would have been tedious,
Yeah,
but it would have been fine. Anyway, so, you know, we get our fancy coffee. All's well in the world. Our parking meter is about to run out, so we're like,
They do so much damage!
that's a lot of damage.
Whew.
Our parking
Tough
meter
sliders, man.
is about to run out, so we're like, all right, well, time to go. We get back to the car. We drive to our Airbnb. We check in, nice and smooth. Everything's great. The Airbnb is great. We chill for a little while, and then we're like, all right, ready to go get some fucking dinner.
Yeah.
So we choose...
And now everywhere is closed. By the way, all the stuff that Hope wanted to do closed.
Oh, I mean, yeah, there was no going to the medical museum or
Yeah.
Eastern State or the Basilica or anything. It's closed.
Which
It closes at
I
5.
hadn't realized that all those things closed at 5, and I felt really, really bad.
Yeah, all that stuff closes super early, which is why I had intended to get there so early in the first place.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I ain't gonna have time.
Oops.
So that ended up taking up, you know, by that point, by the time we get into the hotel room, it is like 5. So I was like, whatever. So we would goof around for a little bit, and then we're like, all right, ready to go get some dinner. So we decide we want to go to a sushi restaurant that's like maybe a little more than a quarter of a mile away.
Yeah.
And because it was still kind of raining, Vic was like, well, let's just drive there.
Oh, yeah.
So...
I was like, oh, what interesting happened here? I thought it was pretty normal. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we drive around for, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes or so, trying to find a parking spot near this restaurant. Can't find one. Street parking, all taken, like, there's nothing. So we end up going back to the Airbnb, parking the car, and walking there, which took 7 minutes to walk there. We should have just walked there from the start.
It was faster walking there than trying to find parking in this awful fucking city.
Much faster.
Where there's nowhere to park.
To just walk there. So we walk there, we get dinner, chill. Walk back to the Airbnb, and we're like, okay, we'd really wanted to go to this dessert place in Chinatown because they had some really fucking dope-looking desserts. But at that point, we didn't really want to leave the house again and try to find parking down in Chinatown. So we DoorDashed a bunch of little pastries from this place.
But it was yummy.
It was real yummy. They had this fucking insane tangerine cheesecake thing.
That thing was fucking nuts. I have no idea what the hell it was.
What it was, it's like a cheesecake center, and then it's encased in like this blood orange candy coating, and it's shaped like a little orange with like a little leaf sticking out of the top and everything.
Yeah.
It was fucking delicious.
That was one of the best desserts I've ever had.
It was a really fucking good dessert. We had some Hokkaido cheesecake, and we had like a little
but the other desserts
treat.
were like they couldn't compare. It kind of blew those out of the water. Fuck.
The little bear was pretty good.
Ugh,
I liked
so
the
hard.
bear, the chocolate bear cake thing. That was pretty good.
Yeah, it was yummy.
I enjoyed that.
The cheesecake wasn't all. It was
The cheesecake, the problem with the cheesecake is that it was frozen a little bit still internally.
Yeah.
And I think if it hadn't been frozen inside, it would have been a lot better.
Probably.
But they were all really good. That's all that matters. The rest of it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
So we had a really good dessert. Chill out, hang out for the rest of the night. We're like, all right, cool. So, next morning, we wake up. I got to briefly visualize Eastern State Penitentiary from a coffee shop across the road.
Yeah, it looks like a castle. I had no idea.
Yeah, it's a big boy.
It's literally a castle.
Big fucking castle that they used to keep prisoners in, and it's all fucked up inside, and it's pretty neat.
Crazy.
So we got some breakfast, got some coffee. I looked at Eastern State, and then we're like, all right, well, we got to hit the road, get over to New Jersey for my appointment. So it's raining. Been raining the whole time. Still raining. We hop in the car, and we take the interstate over to New Jersey. On the drive over, the interstate, certain parts of it, like ramps, are a little bit flooded. Yeah. Whatever, we drive through flooding all the fucking
puddles,
time.
You know? It's not like it's like you're fucking submerging your car in water, you know?
It's just big puddles like that tend to gather on the side of the road.
Norfolk gets fucking crazy with the flooding.
Norfolk gets super flooded. I'm not particularly nervous around flooding.
I've never really been worried about it, you know?
I drive through shit like that bad. Constantly.
Uh-huh.
So I don't think twice. And like I said, sure you don't either, because you drive through it all the time as well.
Yeah.
But we're driving on the interstate. We're almost there. We take this ramp. The ramp has a big puddle. We go through the big puddle, and then after we hit the big puddle, the car starts driving in a really jittery way.
Yeah.
Like, it's real shaky. And I'm like, ooh, I've felt this before. Because I've driven some fucking hoopties. Yeah. And I've driven some rough-ass cars. And this is not a good feeling. Like, I can tell, but, like, I'm not saying anything. But I'm like, oh, shit, that didn't feel good.
I mean, I was feeling it immediately.
Yeah. And the check engine light pops on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, God, that's not good. That's really not good. As someone who drove a car with her check engine light on for a good 5 years. It's not good. It's really not good.
Yeah.
So the car is acting real funky.
And luckily we were pretty close to
Luckily we were within like 5 minutes of where we needed to be.
Yeah.
So we pull into the little town where the tattoo parlor is, and we pull off on the side, and Vicky's like, okay, while you're in getting your tattoo, I'm gonna, like, mess around with the car a little bit, see if maybe we just need to, like, let the engine dry out. Like, maybe a little water got in. We just need to let the engine dry out.
Because, like,
whatever.
in my Volkswagen before, I've driven through some deep-ass water on accident because Norfolk gets crazy flooded.
Yeah.
Like, you'll just get trapped if you don't drive through it.
You
so,
have
like,
to.
you
There's
have
no choice.
So, like, I've gotten it to where, like, I drove through a giant puddle, and then, like, the car was, like, filling with steam because so much water had gotten in, and I had to, like, rev the engine a bunch to try to get it out. And, like, I had that, like, you know, check engine light, you know, horrible fucking driving experience. But, like, I was close to home. It didn't really matter, you know?
Yeah.
And you drive it out, and it's fine. And, like, we were 5 hours away from home. So...
Yeah, we were in New Jersey.
Like, I didn't really want to risk it. And then, like, while Hope was in the tattoo place, I kind of drove around town. And, like, it was fine. Like, it before it was, like, at stoplights, it was, like, stuttering really bad. And it hadn't been doing that anymore.
Yeah, like
so
the RPMs
okay,
were kind of like freaking out.
So I must have got it out by just like running the engine for a little while, and I kept it on. And I sat there and played Pokemon in the car, and everything was fine. I kept checking on it and being like, okay, it's not making any sounds, it's not stuttering, everything must be good. It must have worked itself out. It was driving around just fine. So Hope went and got the tattoo.
Yes.
And then I go and I pick her up in the car. Everything's fine, and we get back on the road. And like as soon as I hit like 55. It's fucking jittering like a motherfucker again.
That's stuttering.
Yeah, and we had been sitting there in the car, like, reading about all the possible things it could be if it was, like, water in the engine pipes and stuff.
So, for reference, if you do get water into your engine, you can hydrolock the car.
Yeah.
Which can bend or break your pistons, essentially. Basically, it'll fucking break your motor.
Yeah. So, it's like, one or two things could have happened. It could have just gotten the air filter wet, which is...
So it's like, either very easily fixable or it's fucking awful.
Yeah, catastrophic. But if you drive on it a bunch, like, I believe
You
like
can
if
warp-
there's water in the engine, you could get it out. But if you
Or-
drive on it a lot, you can warp it and ruin your
You can
engine.
fuck your engine.
So it was like the safe thing to do was not drive the car anymore because I don't want to risk blowing up my engine on a 5-hour drive
drive
home.
in 5 hours.
Like if it had just been driving home, I would have probably waited a couple days and saw if it went away. You know, I wouldn't have
if
even
we had
really
been in
thought about
Norfolk, it'd have been like, all right, well, let's feel it out. We were in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And we had a 5-hour drive full ahead of us on nothing but wet, like, sleet roads.
Yeah.
So,
Especially it's like winter storm coming and shit.
Yeah.
And it's sleeting.
Yeah,
and
Friday
fucking
night
raining.
was the night that this mega snowstorm was scheduled to start hitting New Jersey and causing a lot of ice. So I was like, shit, that's not good.
Very concerning.
So we were like, all right, well, pull off to the side of the, pull off to a store on the side of the road, get off the interstate, and we'll figure out what to do from here. So I call a local auto shop. I tell the lady what's going on, and she's like, yeah, you really don't want to be driving on that. You really need to get that checked out, like, ASAP, and don't drive on it anymore. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. That's kind of what I figured you were going to say. How soon? Like, do you have any available appointments? Does anyone around here have any available appointments? And she was like, yeah, the soonest I think anyone around here could do it would be Monday, because we're all understaffed and we're all totally booked up. And I was like, yeah, I was afraid you were going to say that too. Yep. Because, of course, it's Friday, but I have work on Monday, like, do still have my job. So I was like, shit. So we sit there for a minute, and I'm like, okay, well, let's call your insurance and see what they can do for us.
Yeah. Which thank God Hope was there, because I am a dumb man boy who doesn't think, like, let's call the insurance company. Like, I would have tried to figure everything out by myself, I guess someone at some point would have told me to do it, I guess.
Definitely.
So I would have called you or my dad
insurance.
or the mechanic would have said to call your insurance if they weren't trying to fuck me, which they may have done. But, like, I was immediately thinking, like, okay, we're going to have to stay in a hotel here, Like, we'll probably have to fucking,
Well, you were immediately
get this
assessing
scheduled.
worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Right?
Which is what I like to do, because if you figure out worst case scenario, then you can be optimistic about everything else, Yeah. That's kind of my philosophy on things. It's like, okay, so if the worst thing happens, how fucked are we gonna be?
Yeah. And the worst thing that could have happened was we have to wait to have it seen at a body shop in New Jersey.
And well, the worst thing that could have happened is we kept driving on it and the engine explodes.
Well, that
too. We got that out of the way immediately.
That was we took that off the table, which is good. We like.
So it's like, all right, we don't want the engine to explode. That would be bad.
Definitely.
So where do we go from there? Okay, having to stay in New Jersey for a couple days while this gets worked out. That wouldn't be the end of the world,
It's
if
not
we had to
great,
stay in a hotel. It's
but
not
yeah.
amazing. But we have, till Monday. Maybe you could take the day off on Monday if we really need to,
I was honestly a little worried that it would end up stretching through like multiple days of next week if we had to wait for parts.
Yep.
That would have sucked.
At that point, we'd have to figure out a way to at least get you home.
Yeah, I would have had to rent a car and drive home.
Yeah.
Because I could not have stayed in New Jersey for like a week while the car was getting fixed.
Yeah.
So that would have been worst case scenario at that point. But having just called and dealt with insurance the week before myself because of the hit and run.
I think we talked about it on here.
Oh, we did. I did.
Ah! Rob is so hard.
Literally, a week to the day, I get hit and run. A week later, Victor drives through a puddle and water gets in the engine. So it's just like, all right, well that's fun. That's good. So we call Vic's insurance, and honestly, thank God that it was your insurance.
Thank God for Geico.
Thank God that it was your insurance and not mine.
Oh, God.
Because my insurance covers shit. It covers jack all.
Who do you have insurance with?
USAA, but okay. So, yeah, I'm almost 30 and my dad still pays for my car insurance, so sue me.
I mean, I wouldn't if my dad still paid for mine, but...
So fucking fight me. But anyway, my dad, bless his heart, I love him, notorious cheapskate, buys the cheapest insurance he possibly can. Which, again, I'm not complaining because I I'm not paying for my own car insurance, so...
I kind of just went like, I don't fucking know dick about insurance. I had Geico before when I got in an accident, and they helped me with the 3-year legal battle, and so I felt pretty good about them from that, and so I was like, alright, I'm just gonna stick with Geico. I literally don't know the difference between any of this stuff.
Yeah. I really don't
Fuck.
either. But I was hopeful that if we called, there would be a way that we could get them, ideally, to tow your car back to Virginia, and we could get a rental and drive back in a rental.
Yeah.
And at first, it looked like that wasn't going to be something that could be done.
I just imagined it would cost so much that it wouldn't be viable.
That's what I was worried about. But thank God it was your insurance, because dude who was helping us was like, let me look into something and I'll get back to you. He looks into it and he was like, okay, so your insurance would cover the tow back from New Jersey back to Virginia. We'll take it to your mechanic and you can have your work done wherever you want. So I was like, perfect. Take it to my mechanic. I know that he'll take care of us. He won't rip us off. It'll be as good as it possibly can be.
And it was nice that they immediately determined that I was not at fault, which is good.
Yes, that was also very nice. That they didn't have to get the adjuster involved, because that's a whole other pain in the ass. And they were like, and your rental is covered up to $1,000.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, perfect. And we don't have to pay for the rental car. Like, we don't have to pay for the tow. We don't have to pay for the rental car. Whatever damages are to your car will be completely covered after your deductible. So, like, that's the best case scenario for that situation.
It was very good.
In total honesty, I would have been fucked.
It had, like, the dude helped us. It was like 30 minutes, that we were.
Oh yeah, I mean,
like,
we didn't
time. Wait for holding it all. No, I'm saying it was fast.
Oh yeah, no,
because,
yeah, he was.
All right, recording again. All right, so I edit point. We got cut off again. I'm gonna have to edit this into one fucking video again. Ugh. Anywho, we'll continue the story.
Okay, so
we got cut off. We got picked up by an Uber to go to the rental car place, and then the guy in the Uber was telling us like, you better call AutoZone, because we left the car at AutoZone, and tell them that we left our car there. They're gonna end up towing our car with a different company, and then we'll be shit out of luck, and we won't be able to get back to the car. So we realized we have to stay with the car until the tow company arrives.
Right.
Which they had given us an estimate where Geico said, like, oh yeah, we just called them. They're going to be arriving in 90 minutes. And then the tow truck company sends me a text message saying, oh, we're going to be there at 5 o'clock. And so we're going to chill and we're going to wait for the tow truck company. Everything is going really smoothly. It
all is like, if you're going to have this kind of accident, this is like as smooth as fixing it could possibly go, right?
Yeah.
Because it gives us time to, call the Uber, get over to the rental car place, get the rental car, drive back, and then by the time we get back, there's like a little bit of a buffer, but by the 5 o'clock estimate, they should be there pretty shortly.
Yeah.
To take our other car, and then we can head home. Great, not that much of a speed bump in our process to getting home.
Yeah.
Whatever, it's chill. So, we're sitting there in the car, and we're waiting, and we're like, alright, so 5 o'clock rolls around, and we don't see a tow truck.
Yeah.
And it's like, alright, well...
I think I waited like another 30 minutes after
rainy,
5 o'clock.
I was like, well, maybe they hit something, maybe they had to stop and get something to eat. Like, they're human, they gotta do human things too. Yeah, we hit
human
like
things.
5:30. And I'm like, okay, well, that's odd. Maybe we should give him a call and like check in, because Vic had looked on his app for like an update, and at first it had said they were coming at 5, and by the time we checked it again at 5:30, there was a little message that was like, thank you, your service is complete.
Yeah.
And the Kona was still very much sitting next to us, so the service was definitely not complete.
It was like, what did they think? Like, this service clearly is not working.
So I was like, So I was like, Victor, will you call them and just like see what the ETA is? And he's like, okay, we'll call and get an ETA. So he calls, and the person on the other end is like, oh, let me call the driver and I'll get an updated ETA for you. Cool.
Yeah.
Calls the driver, and he's like, all right, so he'll be there in like 35 to 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, well, you know what? At this point, we're getting pretty hungry. Victor has to pee. There's not a whole lot in the way of offerings to eat around the area that we're in. It's kind of just like a bit of land off the interstate.
There was a McDonald's or a Taco Bell.
And the McDonald's was actually not super close.
Yeah.
So there was a Taco Bell across the street, and we were like, all right, well, fuck it. Let's go get some Taco Bell for dinner, you know? Fuck it. I mean, like, is there a better time to get Taco Bell than when your car is taking on water in the engine and you're waiting for a tow?
That's
like
what fast food is designed for.
This is the optimal
stressful life moments.
Taco Bell time. So we go over to the Taco Bell. They have the little touch screens, so you can customize everything. It's an optimal Taco Bell meal. Like, honestly.
Yeah, it was a primo Taco Bell experience.
It's as good as Taco Bell can get, you know? Had a crunch wrap.
Yeah.
We had a spicy potato soft taco.
I manufactured a loaded potato griller.
You made your own a DIY loaded potato griller. Everything was, like, fresh and good as far as Taco Bell standards go. Had some cinnamon twists. It was great. Use the bathroom. It's awesome.
Yummy.
We're like, all right, we're refueled. We've rang the bell. We're gonna go back over to the AutoZone and wait for the tow truck. Should be coming within like 10 or 15 minutes. So we head back over there. We're sitting next to it, and like at this point,
fuck, why did I do that?
The AutoZone employees are getting suspicious. Like they're coming to take the trash out and stuff, and I see like this dude like side eyeing the Kona because no one's in it. But we're sitting there, and I'm, like, watching him. And at one point, I, like, almost rolled my window down to be like, hey, don't worry. We're waiting for that to get towed. But you were like, oh, it's fine. He's minding his own business. And I was like, I don't know. That was a long side eye.
Yeah.
So then, dude goes inside, comes back out with a notepad, and starts writing down the license plate number on the Kona. And I was like, oh, that's not good. So Vic goes out, and he's like, hey, it's cool. We're here with this car. We're just waiting to get it towed. And dude's like, oh yeah, I was about to have it towed. And it's like, yeah, that's why we are too. That's why we're telling you this.
But like, this is confirmation that we have to stay with this car,
correct,
or they are gonna tow it.
If we had left,
quickly,
it would not have ended very well.
Yeah.
So, at this point, it's starting to get a little dark. It's still raining. We're nearing the time where it's like, it might start kind of like getting a little sleety, a little icy. I don't know. I'm getting a little like.
Yeah. We're worried it's going to start snowing once we actually get on the road. This is the problem.
And at this point, we've passed the 35-minute, the 45-minute mark. We're like an hour after they've said they were going to be here. And I was like,
better call them again.
Vic, will you call them again? And
which I fucking hate having to do so much because I give people the benefit of the doubt to my detriment, you know, and I'm just like,
nah,
it'll be fine. They'll show up any minute. Please show up any minute. I don't want to have to do another call. It's gonna be awkward as fuck.
So we call again, and dude's like, oh yeah, well, we just had a shift change, and I don't know anything about that. So...
Well, he actually said that the other guy had informed him.
Oh, did he?
He said they just had a shift change, and the manager told him what was going to happen and everything.
Oh.
So what I think happened, and it was the same dude who picked up the second time was the same guy who had talked to us before. So the shift change, like initially I called, there was a woman.
Yeah.
The first time I called. Second time it was a guy, and then it was the same guy the third time we called. So this is the guy that told us 45 minutes.
So I thought it was a different guy.
No,
that's why he said that.
It was the same guy. It sounded like the exact same guy. So I think, like, what the situation was supposed to be is that they were supposed to pick up the car and bring it and keep it overnight. And, like, that's what the first lady understood who was on the phone with Geico. Then the shift changes and they go, oh, there's this car that we're going to pick up and keep overnight, and then it's going to go to Virginia in the morning. And so they probably interpret that as, well... why don't we just pick it up in the morning and bring it straight to Virginia, you know?
Right.
Why keep it here
Cut
overnight
out the middleman.
where you have to, like, take it off the car and put it back on the car, you know? We'll just go get it in the morning. And then we call them, and I'm assuming they didn't know that we were staying with the car and needed to stay with the car, I guess.
Right.
So we call again, and I make it clear, I'm like, we have to stay with the car or it's gonna get towed.
Right.
And then he's like...
the guy was like, oh, well, we were gonna do it tomorrow. And it's like... no.
Well, he didn't say they were going to do it tomorrow. He just was now saying, like, oh, I'll call a driver and send him out. It's like, so you hadn't called anyone.
Even though you told us it was
going
to be 35 minutes.
Like, you told us 45 minutes, and then you didn't
And then you didn't dispatch a driver.
It was fucking ridiculous. It enraged me so much.
And I was like, no, we have to stay here with the car until you come and get it because it's gonna get towed from the auto zone.
Yeah.
Like, we have to be here. You don't understand.
It was so fucking frustrating after everything else had been so easy. It was like, this is our punishment.
That was the only thing that was holding us back, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, we could have gotten on the road at 5 and been, like, totally in the clear. And instead, we were there sitting in the parking lot waiting for it until, like, 7:30.
It was like 8 o'clock when we actually started getting going.
Yeah.
That's why we got home at 1. Oh my god, it was terrible.
So, because we had taken the Taco Bell break, and then when I called the guy again, and he said, oh, well, I'll send someone out now, it's going to be another 35 minutes. I was like, can we go to the Dunkin' Donuts and get a coffee? Because there's a Dunkin' right across the street. I was
so fucking
I
annoying.
want coffee.
After such a just taxing time. I was so worked up, you know?
Yeah.
Because then it just made me really nervous about their delivery service, because it's like, okay, well, you've shown me that you're incompetent. How do I know you're going to get the car back to Virginia now?
Well,
like, what the fuck?
I didn't have any concerns about them getting the car here.
Yeah.
I figured that's just some, like, back-end shit that, like, usually you'd never know about because it wouldn't matter. But in our case, it matters very much when you come to get the car.
Yeah.
And I don't think everyone was privy to that fact.
Yeah. Sucked. So stupid. Oh my god, this bus is so fucking annoying.
But anyway, so, yeah, we got back home at about 1 in the morning. And,
It's quite the taxing drive.
And yeah,
Because
we
it rained.
drove back through sleet the whole time.
It rained literally the entire time on a 5-hour drive in the middle of the dark, driving through Delaware, which has no street lights. At least it keeps you alert. I was never tired.
Yeah.
Because you're like clenching your ass cheeks the entire time driving through
pure darkness,
dark roads
with sleet.
You literally
like,
can't see.
fuck.
The draw distance is worse than Pokemon. Fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Woo!
So yeah, and Lala was very happy to see us when we got home. She probably thought that we had abandoned her.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that was our very exciting trip to Philadelphia / New Jersey.
Which wouldn't have been much of a story at all if everything hadn't gone wrong.
If we hadn't
end.
flooded the engine of Vic's car.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So I mean, I'm hoping that's enough incidents with vehicles for a while between me, my incident last week, your incident this week. Hopefully that's enough.
Yeah, it's gonna get old. If things keep going wrong. I need to get my state inspection done.
Yeah.
In Virginia, you have to get a state inspection. Not every state does it, but some of them do. It's very stupid and annoying.
Yeah.
It's just a way for the government to get some money out of your car in perpetuity.
Yep. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you own this thing? Fuck you. Here's some hoops you gotta jump through, buddy.
Yep. Ah!
Though I guess, in fairness, making sure that people's cars are in relative working order is probably not a bad idea.
Unless you have a vintage car, and then you can get a pass. That means you don't have to get it inspected.
Which seems like a really bad idea, because
Yeah.
the older the car, the less inspecting you're gonna do.
Nope, you can get a special vintage car pass.
Though, I think with those vintage cars, there's restrictions on where you're allowed to drive.
I don't know.
I don't think you can take those on the
Because
interstate.
fucking Jeremy's car was one of those cars.
Well.
And he sure drove it everywhere.
You're not supposed to.
Yeah.
I realize you probably don't actually get, like, ticketed for it, but you're not supposed to.
It just demonstrates how fucking arbitrary it all is, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I drive a 2018 Kona. Like, I can't imagine there's that much going wrong every year that I have to do the thing. And you can buy the 2-year pass, you know? So it's like, well, why? Oh, so I can just pay a little extra and it's not dangerous anymore? Okay.
No system is perfect, of course.
Yep. Now I'm gonna start doing it because I never fucking get this shit done in time. Start doing the 2-year.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, we can do 2 years.
Where'd you hear about that?
I think you can do it with your registration, too. I know you can do it with your registration.
I do it with my registration.
Okay. Maybe you can't do it with the inspection. Maybe it's
I
just
don't
a
think you
registration.
can. It's just registration.
I thought you could with the inspection, too.
I've never had that offered to me. It kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah, it's kind of stupid.
It's like, well, if you're not checking it every year, why do it at all?
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway.
And
And then today we went to Norfolk's official indie comic expo. And that was fun.
There were
Checked
comics.
out a whole bunch of local comic artists and stuff. It's nice. It's nice to go see like what's around and be like, huh, what are the people around here making?
Yeah. And it's alright. They make things that are okay. Not the best, not bad. Okay.
Yeah. You feel a little
Decent
bad.
artwork.
Because everyone is really nice and really friendly. And you want to buy something from them, but you're like, oh, but I don't really like the aesthetics of what you make. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Where, like, they'll have really amazing art in, like, posters and stuff, but then the comics themselves seem really uninteresting and bland.
Yeah, or it's like, I don't really care about this comic. I'm sorry.
It's like, man, I know you can really fucking flex and make some really cool-ass shit, but, like, then you have, like, a really bland comic. I have no fucking health vials. No! The gods of Olympus have abandoned me.
Truly.
See if they're all afraid of the torch. I bet this is a mechanic.
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure that works here.
Maybe not.
Oh.
Maybe not.
Well, I thought it did.
I'm thinking of Dark Souls 2. Here we go.
Here you go. A little bit of fire.
No! Too many spiders! There's too many goddamn spiders! Oh man, I got close one of those times.
Yeah.
I really wanted to beat him by the end of this, but now I've got no fucking health vials, so I'm gonna have to grind a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh god. Do we have more topics? Or was that it?
That was it.
That was it?
That was my, yeah.
You got nothing else?
Nah.
Do we even watch anything?
Nah.
Talk about Orbital Children.
Yeah, we talked about it
What else
already.
did we watch? I want to keep playing Bloodborne.
I'm sorry, buddy.
Wee. I want to equip that torch in my main hand.
Oh, yeah?
Can't. Doesn't let you do it. Alright, I guess we're done.
Sorry.
We
I
can't
don't have
beat
anything else.
Rom. No. My
save-
vacuous spider.
Save rum for next time.
I guess so.
Are you hungry?
I am hungry.
You wanna make
It is
dinner?
late. Yeah, I want to make dinner.
Alright, let's go make dinner.
What are we making for dinner?
You want to do a tofu stir fry?
Okay.
Or do you want something else?
Alright, that's it for this episode of
Alright, go make a tofu stir fry.
Go make tofu
Have a
stir
good
fry.
day.
Bye.
Bye.